be intervening and the minister is not yet there, please let us know when he is available. I can see him in FOP. Okay, please tell us in FOP if that is the address that the minister will be intervening from. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, Mr. Ekukwe, can we start?
Yes, Prof. Okay, following our program for today, we are on the Cameroon Youth Conference, and this edition, which is the first edition, it is to mark the 55th edition of the Cameroon Youth Day on the theme Youth Resilience, Challenges and Opportunities in Times of COVID-19. During this conference, we shall be hearing from keynote speakers. Our leaders have been invited to come and discuss with the youth on different possibilities in order for the youth to be involved in decision making and nation building. So, according to our program, which I will give a rundown of the program because...
Yeah, Mr. Ekukwe.
Yes, Professor.
Yes, let me just pick up from there.
Okay, Prof.
All right. Good day to everyone. We are going to start in less than 1 minute. That said, Excellencies, distinguished professors, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinguished honor to host this year's virtual edition of the Cameroon Youth Conference under the theme, Build a New Cameroon with its Youth. This year's general theme is Youth Resilience, Challenges and Opportunities in Times of COVID-19. This event, which for the greater part will be interactive, has as keynote speakers the following: His Excellency Mununa Fotso, Minister of Youth and Civic Education; His Excellency Issa Chiruma Bakari, Minister of Employment and Vocational Training; His Excellency Achille Basiliken, Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. You also have 3 heads of diplomatic missions: His Excellency Henri Etundi Somba, who is the Ambassador of Cameroon to the United States. You have His Excellency André Magnus de Comon, who is Cameroon's Ambassador to France, and His Excellency Anoa Gele Solomon Azombi, who is the High Commissioner of Cameroon to Canada and who has just been posted as Cameroon's High Commissioner to South Africa. You have Professor Jean-Emmanuel Pondi, who is a Vice Rector at the University of Yaoundé, SOA. You have Professor Judith Ndongo Torim Miro, who is a coordinator of the Research and Doctoral Training Unit in Health and Environment of the University of Yaoundé 1. And you have, of course, the President of the Cameroon, the President of the United Council for Youth Empowerment, Mr. Fabien Lionga Ekukwe. Participants will be free to speak in the language of their choice, that is English or French or both at the same time. On that note, the co-host, who our guest will be here in a while, is Gwendoline Fongo. She is a journalist, a security analyst, and founder of Brandy Media. In her absence, I will give you a rundown of the program. Even though it's a virtual program, there is the arrival of guests and keynote speakers on the Zoom platform. There's supposed to be this introduction, which has been done by me, Professor Athanasius Ayub, the Cultural Counselor at the Embassy of Cameroon in Washington, D.C. There will be the singing of the national anthem, an address from the host president, Fabien Lionga, opening remarks by the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education. I see that there will be a reading of a poem, a presentation by the Vice Rector of the University of Yaoundé II, Professor Jean-Manuel Pondi, a presentation from the Cameroon Ambassador to Washington, D.C., His Excellency Henri Etundi Somba. There will be an intervention from a Cameroon diaspora youth in Russia, Ms. Tatiana Dense, COYMD. There will be a presentation from the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training. There will be a musical interlude, questions and answers from the youth for about 30 minutes, a presentation from the Cameroon High Commissioner to Canada, His Excellency Solomon Azombi, a presentation from Professor Judith Ndongo. Then there will be a presentation from the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises or his representative, and a presentation from the Cameroon Ambassador to France, His Excellency André Magnus. And then there will be questions and answers from youth to the speakers for 30 minutes. And then there will be the reading of the conference recommendations by the rapporteur. In the course of time, there could be changes to this program. That said, the floor is set for the President.
From the diaspora and back home in Cameroon to seize this opportunity and network or communicate with our parents whom we've invited to come and speak to us. The youth are here today to listen from our leaders, to talk to us, tell us about some of these opportunities which we have in Cameroon, but our young people are not aware of. So, fellow youths, I wish to invite you to take opportunity, take advantage of this conference, and make sure you add your voice in the decision making of this country. The team Build a New Cameroon with its youth come in the place at this particular time because we want to involve the youth in decision making and nation building of our country. We want to see the young people being developed with civic responsibilities and take and own Cameroon as their country. A young person who will fight and die for his country. A young person who will do everything possible to protect the image of his country. We know that we have a lot of questions, unanswered questions. Today is that time for you to ask these questions. And of course, we have coordinators from different regions, especially in the Southwest regions, Northwest regions, and Central regions, and otherwise. Our questions are supposed to be gathered or channeled towards the chat group, the chat for message. We're not going to allow everyone to speak because it's going to, that is to prevent, you know, what's the word? Distraction. So, having said, I wish to have Professor Ayok continue with the conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ekukwe Lyonga, for your brief presentation of this year's event. And that said, I would like to know if the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education is ready to give his opening remarks.
The national anthem first, I think.
Your Excellency, are you ready?
Prof, I think the national anthem for the minister.
Oh, the national anthem. Okay, okay. I'm sorry about that. So there's the singing of the national anthem.
Maybe we should once.
A volunteer should unmute and tune that, please.
O Cameroon, thou cradle of a father, holy Mary, and Lord, and swear the solid wall, that on the hills and valleys where the sheep roll.
How can we ever pay the due? Will be to the name ever true, land of promise,
land of glory,
your only star. Shine and give meant forevermore. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ms. Madida Duse, you're the one who intoned the national anthem. And that done, if the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education is ready, then the platform is ready to listen to his remarks. Your Excellency, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, thank you very much. We are honored to have His Excellency Monuna Fotso, who is doing us the honor of his physical presence, and he is ready to give his opening remarks on the celebration of the 55th National Youth Day, organized by the Cameroon Youth Conference, hosted from Washington, D.C., by the Embassy of Cameroon in Washington, D.C. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The Minister of Youth Employment and Vocational Training, dear colleague, elder brother Isa Shiroma Bakari, the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicrafts, dear colleague, younger brother Achille Basilican, His Excellency Henri Etunde Somba, Cameroon's ambassador to the United States of America, His Excellency André Magnus Ekumu, Cameroon's ambassador to France, His Excellency Anwar Gele Solomon, Cameroon's High Commissioner to Ottawa, Canada, dear Professor Jean-Emmanuel Pondi, Vice Rector of Yaoundé 2 University, dear Professor Judith Dombo Turimiro, Professor of Clinical Sciences at the University of Yaoundé 1, dear young brother Mr. Fabien Longa, Ekukwe, President of the United Council of for Youth Empowerment, dear eminent speakers, invited guests, all protocol duly respected, ladies and gentlemen, dear youth. Let me start by wishing you all a happy Youth Day 2021. It is really with great pleasure and honor that I take the floor this day on the occasion of this online conference organized by the United Council for Youth Empowerment, a global youth movement based in the United States of America as part of their activities in line with the commemoration of our country's 55th edition of the Youth Day, celebrated this year under the theme Youth Resilience, Challenges and Opportunities in Times of COVID-19. Over the years, young people of our country, whether at home or abroad, have shown great commitment in the face of the numerous challenges we do encounter as a people. However, a great number have also found themselves at the disadvantageous end, growing a feeling of rejection, which has led to a decrease in the level of participation in electoral and decision-making processes in the country, and subsequently making them to lose hope in their nation. It is in this regard that this conference is holding under the theme, Build a New Cameroon with its Youth. This theme speaks much itself and falls within the ambit of actions undertaken by our country in general and the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education in particular, with the aim of reviving the spirit of patriotism, harmonious living together, and youth participation in nation building. About 56% of our country's population is below the age of 35, meaning a greater percentage is made up of youth. Thanks to the demographic strength of these youth, who are the backbone of every society, and most often referred to as the spearhead of the nation, it would be practical for us to build a sustainable and durable Cameroon. However, the building of a new Cameroon requires a transformative shift, an integrated approach, and the search for new solutions, particularly through youth and community empowerment, entrepreneurship, peace building, and the revival of our civic and moral commitments as youth. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, which has as one of its missions the putting in place of appropriate government strategies susceptible to facilitate young people's participation in the development process of the nation, as well as the promotion of values of peace, hard work, democracy, and solidarity, continues to support initiatives likely to contribute to the attainment of this objective. This conference is an initiative that must be applauded because it falls in line with some of the strategies that the ministry made use of. Happening at a time when our country is faced with growing health and security challenges, our youth must now, more than ever before, continue to brainstorm and put in place, together with the authorities in place, innovative strategies capable to build our country, Cameroon. The organization of this conference is thus a welcome initiative as it gives the opportunity for youth to express their views on issues concerning them and their nation. I would like at this juncture to congratulate my dear younger brother, Mr. Fabien Lyonga, for that initiative. And I remember again the ever first launching of the Youth Day abroad. It was in the United States of America, and at that occasion, I remember he played a very key role. So again, I wanted to congratulate him, and I hope that all of us should applaud for that initiative. I therefore urge you, all participants, to propose appropriate measures to promote youth participation and involvement in nation building so that together we can build a new Cameroon. I would also like to use this opportunity to thank the organizers, all the other organizers of this conference, as well as all the different panelists and young people who have taken our time to join us online for this meeting. Such an initiative is testimony of our collective zeal to see our country move to another level. So, mesdames et messieurs, chers participants, c'est sur cette note que je déclare ouverte la visioconférence et souhaite à tous fructueux échanges et délibérations. Merci pour votre bienveillante attention.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Let's give a hand of applause for the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, His Excellency Mununa Potso. And as he rightly pointed out, this is also the second time he is intervening or launching this event in connection with the United States and the U.S. Cameroon's embassy to the United States. We thank you very much. I should also say that the minister will be available, and when it will be time for questions, he will take some questions from young people. That said, if the Vice Rector, Professor Jean-Emmanuel Pondy, is ready or is available on this platform, he will be speaking in the next 1 or 2 minutes. I will ask if on the program there is provision for the reading of a poem. Mr. President Ekukwe, is that provision still available?
I am here to find out if the young man is online. If he is online, please let him indicate.
Okay, the young man who is supposed to read the poem, if you are online, please do indicate. Okay, maybe the poem will come after. In the absence of the poem, is Professor Jean-Emmanuel Pondy available? Professor, are you online? I know Professor Judith Ndongo Torimiro is online. Is Professor Jean-Emmanuel Pondy online also? Maybe not yet. And if Professor Jean-Emmanuel Pondy is not online, I see that President Lyonga made provision for some light music. Maybe is that possible? While we wait for His Excellency Ambassador Henry Etundi Esomba, who will speak after that.
It was supposed to come from the same young man who was supposed to intervene.
Okay, maybe he has technical challenges getting into the platform. So that said, I will take over the theme of this particular forum and the general theme of the event. I will request that the ambassador of Cameroon to the US be getting ready to speak. That said, the organizer from the US of this event is the Cameroon Youth Conference, CYC, and its president is Mr. Fabien Lyonga Ekukwe. The general theme for the event for the 55th National Youth Day is Youth Resilience, Challenges and Opportunities in Times of COVID-19. And the theme that the Cameroon Youth Conference has carved from this is Build a New Cameroon with its Youth. And I should say that living in the jurisdiction of Ambassador Etunye Somba, Mr. Lyonga Ekukwe has been a very passionate youth, very passionate, very involved in trying to gather young people in the US, Cameroonian young people in the US, to come together to see what they can do for their country. Since he came around the embassy, I think in 2017 or 18, if I'm not mistaken, he's been relentless in his efforts to bring young people together. And as time passes, his association has been growing in strength. These, of course, are the kinds of young people, like many others, whom we are encouraging to bring everyone together so that we can build a better country. That said, we'll go straight to His Excellency Henry Etunye Somba, who has always been very ready to accommodate the young people and the community, Cameroonian community, in his jurisdiction in the United States. His doors have always been open to Mr. Ekukwe. Anytime he had asked to do something, the ambassador has been willing to speak. So today we have the opportunity, like we did 3 years ago, to listen to Ambassador Etunye Somba on the occasion of the 55th National Youth Day. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Let me first recognize the presence of the 3 members of the government, Minister in charge of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, His Excellency Nunu Futsu. It was a pleasure 3 years ago, as you so opportunely recall it, to have you here and to, for the first time ever, launch from Washington, D.C., the what you term as to be the celebration of the Onzen. It was a very particular moment for me during my very first years here in D.C. I want also to say a few words toward my young colleague, Minister Achille Basilekin III. This is a very dynamic young colleague. He is today sitting in the government, and really we are proud of his the way he's handling his portfolio. It is important to have him amongst us as we are celebrating the younger generation of Cameroon with us. As well, I'm happy to have the Minister Issa Chiroma. Is a very well-known figure, not only in the political arena, but has been quite instrumental in taking the voice of Cameroon to be heard wild world. It is a pleasure to know that they are all here. Toward Mr. Professor Pondi, whom I have had the privilege to host in Israel as I was representing our country there. He led a team of students from IRI, International School of Relations in Cameroon, to Israel. So it is, this is the best proof of the importance the government and public power are attached to a younger generation in our countries. To go to the substance itself, I want to state that the outbreak of the COVID-19 at the start of 2020 was a sudden and unexpected development in the world. And no country, even among the most developed, has been able to predict, let alone further the interference of this plague in the life of nations, implying radical change in our customs. Relationships with others have become subject to restriction. Wearing masks, which has become a habit, social distancing affecting, including family relationships, the systematic hand washing are part of the new reflexes imposed by the coronavirus pandemic. The functioning of the world institution and economy affected by this scourge are seriously disrupted and continue to suffer the consequences of the deadly pandemic, negatively impacting the execution of government's programs. Cameroon has not been spared by this pandemic, with more than 30,000 cases of infection as we speak here, and less than 500 deaths. Our country, in view of the reality experienced elsewhere, seems little affected. However, the social and economic consequences remains enormous. Among the age group least affected by the pandemic are young people. While they can be contaminated, they seem to be more resistant to this scourge. The young generation is the most important fringe of the population of Cameroon. I think the minister gave a figure, they are representing 56% of the total population. An important part of the work at the national construction has always been reserved for them, be it their inclusion in political life, the importance given to education, sport, and their participation in economic activities in the countries. These spaces still in the grip of the crisis need to be invigorated. To that end, we think we must ensure that we have a healthy youth in Cameroon. The fact that young people are more resistant to the pandemic constitute an advantage, and I must say an asset that must be capitalized. Young people must be at the forefront of the compliance with the government measures enacted to counter the coronavirus pandemic. Young people must have faith in their country, their institutions, their leaders. This is what enables them to resist any attempt to be distracted from what is essential, the respect of their countries and institutions. In the absence of this quality, they could become a breeding ground for manipulation. The need to adhere to the multiple plans and programs put in place by public powers, allowing them to take an active part in the national constructions. there is also a need to increase the offer of education, giving an important part in that respect to young girls, with a particular emphasis on access to technology. One of the bright spots of the coronavirus pandemic has been to bring to highlight, the possibility of using technology to facilitate communication and promote education. I would like at this juncture, on my turn, to express my appreciation and my thankfulness to the young people here within the diaspora in the United States for their responsive attitude to the embassies of peace, inviting them to be involved in our daily activities. Let me be more specific toward Mr. Younger, who is in charge of the president of the youth of the United States, to stress how instrumental his role has been in bringing together the younger generation here in the United States and sensitizing them over the necessity to remain in touch and to feel concern of the nation building process. I would like to conclude by reiterating the availability of the embassy as an institution, and myself and the entire staff of the embassy in Washington, D.C., to continuously assist and work closely with the younger generation in the diaspora. Let me just say that this necessary collaboration between us seems to me to be the only way and the only option given to us to build a modern Cameroon that we all want to see becoming the reality. So to conclude, I want just to say happy 55th anniversary, happy National Youth Day to all of you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Henri Etundi Esomba, Cameroon's ambassador to the United States in Washington, D.C. That said, I know the young man who is supposed to recite a poem is not yet available. We still have him on hold. We know the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training, His Excellency Issa Chiruma Bakari, is online. We are very pleased to have him. He does not need any additional introduction. He's an extremely well-known figure, and the young people will be very willing to interact with him when the time comes. That said, Your Excellency, Minister Issa Chiruma Bakari, if you are available, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Your Excellencies. I would like to deliver my message in French. So, Messieurs les membres du gouvernement, Excellences, Messieurs les ambassadeurs, Monsieur le vice-recteur de l'Université de Yaoundé 2, Monsieur le professeur, Madame la coordonnatrice de l'unité de recherche et de formation doctorale en santé et environnement, Madame le professeur, Monsieur le Président de United Council for Youth Empowerment, chers jeunes, Mesdames et Messieurs, en vos rangs, titres et qualités respectifs. C'est avec exaltation que je prends la parole ici en ce jour, à l'occasion de cette vidéoconférence organisée par le United Council for Youth Empowerment, à l'occasion de la célébration de la 55e fête de la jeunesse. Qu'il me soit permis, dès l'entame de mon propos, de dire l'appréciation du gouvernement à l'endroit du président de United Council for Youth Employment, M. Fabien Liyonga Ekwe, aussi bien pour cette initiative heureuse de porter à tour de bras la problématique de la promotion des jeunes, notamment à travers l'amélioration de la communication entre eux et les autorités de tous les ordres, que pour tous les efforts multisectoriels pluridimensionnels qu'ils déploient pour apporter soutien et accompagnement aux jeunes. Chers jeunes, vous arrive-t-il de vous poser la question de savoir dans quel monde vivons-nous? Dans quel Cameroun évoluons-nous? Quelle est la place du Cameroun dans la sous-région, dans le continent et dans le monde? Quel est le rôle que vous entendez jouer? Et quelle est la place que vous comptez occuper? Dans le cadre de la communication recherchée, des réponses à ces questions doivent être apportées par vous les jeunes. Il me plaît dans cette réflexion d'attirer votre attention sur une observation, à savoir que le développement de toute nation repose plus sur le capital humain que sur les ressources naturelles. Si les ressources naturelles sont des prédispositions providentielles, le capital humain, en revanche, est une vision, une volonté, une construction. Et de loin, le capital humain est au moins aussi important, sinon plus important, que le capital matière première, avec pour socle la jeunesse. L'expérience des pays comme la Corée du Sud, le Japon, la Thaïlande, Singapour, entre autres, sont là pour démontrer la pertinence du capital humain sur le capital matière première. Chers jeunes, il se trouve que, de manière providentielle, vous êtes des citoyens de la nation pour qui les richesses nationales immenses et variées sont disponibles, c'est-à-dire à votre disposition. À vous donc de vous armer intellectuellement et professionnellement pour mériter et valoriser tous ces dons et avantages dont la nature vous a gratifié. Avec votre implication, le Cameroun doit devenir un technopôle d'excellence et révolutionnaire au moment où la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine et la vision d'import-substitution prennent corps, car comme vous le savez, notre pays débourse plus de 1000 milliards de nos francs chaque année pour l'importation des produits divers du riz, du poisson, du poulet, de la farine, conserve, etc. La deuxième observation que je voudrais faire, avant de vous parler du département dont je préside à la marche, est de constater que tous les grands chantiers structurants énergétiques, construction des barrages divers, des bâtiments et travaux publics, agro-pastoraux, routiers, ferroviaires, maritimes, des mines, nécessite des compétences et qualifications techniques et professionnelles de haut niveau, toutes choses qui nous font malheureusement défaut. C'est pour cela que les ouvriers et experts étrangers viennent occuper des positions et places qui auraient dû être les nôtres et que malheureusement nous n'occupons pas faute de ressources humaines appropriées. Et c'est ici qu'intervient avec force et pertinence la formation professionnelle comme préalable à l'acquisition d'un métier indispensable pour l'insertion socio-économique. Votre gouvernement vous invite donc à vous préparer pour tous ces métiers d'avenir porteurs d'espoir en prenant attache avec le ministère en charge de la formation professionnelle ingénieur de l'État en la matière, car l'avenir de notre nation repose dans la formation professionnelle. Excellences, Messieurs les ambassadeurs, je me réjouis de votre participation à cet important échange, manifestation concrète de la bonne marche de la diplomatie camerounaise, fortement impliquée, entre autres, dans le relèvement des conditions socio-économiques des jeunes Camerounais en territoire national et à l'étranger. Monsieur le Président du United Council for Youth Empowerment, l'événement qui nous réunit ce jour est fort interpellateur pour le gouvernement, notamment le département ministériel dont j'ai la charge, dont la mission principale est l'élaboration et la mise en œuvre de la politique du gouvernement en matière d'emploi, de formation et d'insertion professionnelle. Il m'échoit ainsi la responsabilité de coordonner toutes les actions devant permettre à chaque Camerounais actif de trouver un emploi. La question de l'emploi en général et celle de l'emploi des jeunes en particulier est une préoccupation constante du président de la République, M. Paul Biya, qui à chacune de ses adresses à la jeunesse a toujours insisté que ce qui le préoccupe le plus est le chômage des jeunes. C'est pourquoi il a fait de l'emploi une cause nationale et de la formation professionnelle une priorité nationale. Cette sollicitude du chef de l'État témoigne de l'espoir qu'il fonde en sa jeunesse, fer de lance de la nation, pour sa créativité, son audace, son talent, son inventivité. S'agissant de la question de la communication entre les jeunes et les autorités, particulièrement le gouvernement, je me suis toujours tenu à la disposition des jeunes, sans distinction de groupe de rattachement, en vue d'apporter des réponses à leurs préoccupations. Dans l'optique de renforcer cette communication, des mécanismes et outils concertés devront être élaborés en vue de leur appropriation et implémentation par les parties prenantes. Comme toujours, mon cabinet est ouvert à tous les jeunes du triangle national et naturellement de la diaspora également. Mesdames et messieurs, il convient de relever, pour le rappeler, que le gouvernement de la République, à travers des instruments divers de promotion de l'emploi et du développement de la formation professionnelle, se tient aux côtés de la jeunesse pour lui apporter tout l'accompagnement nécessaire à son éclosion. Concernant l'emploi, plus de 40 instruments d'appui à l'insertion des jeunes, logés dans moult départements ministériels, sont opérationnels. Je pourrais citer au passage, pour le MINEFOP, le Fonds national de l'emploi et ses nombreux autres programmes, projets que vous découvrez dès que possible. Le programme d'appui aux acteurs du secteur informel, le PASI, le Centre de formation et d'orientation professionnelle, les CIOP. Au MINJEC, le ministre venait d'en parler tout à l'heure et je suis persuadé qu'à l'occasion du débat, il vous en parlera avec aise. Je salue également la présence de Mid Mesa, qui a une expertise avérée et qui, à l'occasion de son intervention, nous en parlera de long en large. Au MINADER, le programme AFOP, le programme ACEP, ainsi de suite, il y en a beaucoup. Dans le domaine de la formation professionnelle, l'on dénombre, dans mon département ministériel, 3 centres de formation professionnelle d'excellence à Douala, Limbé et Samelima. Un centre de formation au métier à Konsamba. 5 centres de formation professionnelle rapide de bureaux et de métiers industriels à Boya, Yaoundé, Badenkop, Gawa et Pitoa. 6 centres de formation aux métiers non agricoles en milieu rural, en construction, à Banjoun, Ebebda, Maroua, Ndop, Bertois, Ngaoundéré. Je salue la présence de l'ambassadeur de France parce que nous le devons grâce à la coopération heureuse entre notre pays et la France, qui se prépare naturellement à mettre en place 8 centres de formation professionnelle. Merci, monsieur l'ambassadeur. 2 centres de formation professionnelle sectoriels en cours de mise en place à aider à Douala dans le secteur agro-industrie, la maintenance industrielle et le transport logistique, un centre de formation au métier de Nanga et Boko. À ces structures publiques s'ajoutent une centaine d'institutions de formation placées sous la tutelle d'autres départements ministériels et plus de 1500 centres de formation professionnels privés agréés disséminés à travers le territoire national. Chers jeunes, les portes de tous ces centres et institutions de formation professionnelle vous sont ouvertes et vous attendent. Aux côtés de l'État, j'invite également le secteur privé à jouer pleinement son rôle dans le développement de la formation professionnelle à travers le mentoring et le tutorat, le financement et l'insertion professionnelle des jeunes. Mesdames et messieurs, chers jeunes, il importe en définitive de rappeler, pour le préciser davantage, que la vision du chef de l'État en matière d'emploi et de formation professionnelle est holistique et concerne la nation camerounaise dans ses différentes composantes. Aussi convient-il de relever qu'il porte une attention particulière à la question de l'emploi des jeunes. Cela se traduit dans la stratégie nationale de développement en continuité de la première phase de la vision 2035, à savoir la stratégie pour la croissance et l'emploi. Mesdames et messieurs, chers jeunes, notre système éducatif, malheureusement, a produit plus de gestionnaires de richesses que de producteurs de richesses et de services, en même temps qu'il a promis le fonctionnariat à la fonction publique. Il est temps de changer le paradigme et la panacée au problème de chômage, particulièrement celui des jeunes, réside dans la formation professionnelle, l'entrepreneuriat et la création d'entreprises, toutes tailles confondues. De toute évidence, pour le chef de l'État, l'émergence de notre pays, tel qu'annoncé, passe inéluctablement par sa dynamique et ingénieuse jeunesse. Il l'a souligné lors de son adresse à la jeunesse du 10 février 2020. Je le cite. En ce qui vous concerne, il parle aux jeunes, il s'agit tout d'abord de défendre tous nos acquis afin de mieux mener le combat pour l'émergence. C'est à vous, mes chers jeunes compatriotes, que viendra cette tâche exaltante au cours des prochaines décennies. Voilà, Excellence, la communication que j'ai jugée digne de porter à votre attention. Je reste naturellement disposé pour prendre part au débat qui s'en suiviendra. Je vous remercie infiniment.
Let's give a round of applause for His Excellency, Mr. Issa Chiroma Bakari. Your Excellency, thank you very much for your presentation. The young people available on this platform have heard you. There are those who are following live on the live stream on Facebook and Twitter. There will be time for numerous questions. That said, without much ado, I would like to inform the heads of mission in France and in Canada to be ready. In the meantime, we'll take the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises or his representative. The floor is yours. The Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, the Minister
is on meeting.
His Excellency Minister Shil Basilican. If he's not there, I think the representative is there. The Inspector General in that ministry is Madame Emilia Chindon.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the floor. His Excellency, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, His Excellency, the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training, His Excellency, the Ambassador of Cameroon to the USA, the President of the United Council for Youth Empowerment, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a pleasure for me on behalf of His Excellency Achille Basilican III, Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicrafts, to address you on the occasion of the Cameroon Youth Conference. Thank you, Mr. Lyonga Fabian, President of the United Council for Youth Empowerment, for your kind invitation and for organizing this conference for both the youths in Cameroon and the diaspora under the theme, Build a New Cameroon with its Youth. This is a way of showing the resilience that is expected of you as embedded in the theme for this year, where you have embraced the challenge of non-physical conferences to organize this zone. That shows your dynamism. With regard to what is happening, I would also like to express my deep gratitude to the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education for the quality of collaboration between our two ministerial departments within the framework of search for solutions to questions related to the promotion of entrepreneurship among the youths and for the improvement of our economic fabric. That goes to for the Minister of Employment and Vocational Training, with whom I have carried out many other ventures. Most importantly, we would like to appreciate all participants of this online Cameroon Youth Conference. The fact that you are participating here, investing your time, energy, and focus to address critical issues facing our world today indicates the quality of character that is vitally needed if we are to build a better future. I believe you are here because you care, because you want to make a positive difference, and because you are ready to take action. It is for that reason that even though I am unavoidably absent, I have asked to be represented, and I have a whole crew on board. The director of SME is on board, with the sub-director, chiefs of service, the inspector number 1, who will all join to chip in if need be during our discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the opportunity to share some thoughts on how the youths contribute or can contribute to nation building a new Cameroon. Because they constitute over 70% of the population and form an important segment of the labor force, and the economic role played by them cannot be isolated from the framework of development. Empowering them is a smart investment towards inclusive growth in these challenging economic and political times. Skills and entrepreneurship can empower youth to develop knowledge-intensive economic activities to transition successfully from schools to jobs. This will create the future they seek and promote gains in productivity for Cameroon. As you know, since the year 2009, the government has undertaken several reforms and numerous actions to restore Cameroon's image, boost economic growth, develop employment for young people to improve the living conditions of our population in order to enable our country attain the rank of an emerging nation by 2035. More so, according to the National Development Strategy 2020 to 2030, the structural transformation of the national economy is one of the major pillars. Actions towards the development of manufacturing and service industries, strengthening agricultural productivity. There is no doubt that youth are an essential component of development and play a key role in the realization of our country's vision. Technology and globalization are impacting the lives of people everywhere, driving change at a breathtaking pace. We can communicate, transact, and travel with ease, previously unimaginable. The internet, or what was initially called the World Wide Web, was introduced in 1990, merely 30 years ago. Today, 4.6 billion people are active users, and the internet is woven into much that we do every day. Google, which did not exist 25 years ago, processes 70,000 searches per second, or 2 trillion searches per year. Steve Jobs unveiled the first iPhone in 2007, and now smartphones are everywhere. There is now more than 10 billion mobile devices in use globally, far exceeding the world's total population. Innovation and technology have brought remarkable breakthroughs in nearly every area of human endeavor. Our youth are particularly endowed in manipulating new technology. While it was designed to help us develop, we must watch out that it makes us and not mar us, as could be the case with unbecoming usage. Social media should serve to develop and ease our businesses. I dare hope we can count on our youth to use their dexterity and know-how in this regard to help build the new Cameroon we seek. In addition, empirical studies have shown that an economy based on entrepreneurship is distinguished by its dynamism and encourages new ideas and new avenues for development. It is against this backdrop that several policies have been implemented by the Cameroonian government to create and develop a corporate culture and promote private initiative. The Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicrafts, and other ministries, in partnership with foreign organizations, strive to double the number of youth-owned businesses by increasing their access to financing, networks, and capacity building. To this effect, we have developed several programs, such as the National Incubation Program, the ImpreTech Program, a national strategy for the promotion of entrepreneurship, the Youth Entrepreneurs Kit, and others. Indeed, the incubation policy in this case aims to support start-up entrepreneurs, young business promoters, and project idea carriers to promote their entrepreneurial potential and their know-how. The emergence of innovative projects and the maturation of project ideas to considerably reduce the mortality rate of startups and induce the creation of growth-oriented businesses. As a result, the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, in charge of related issues, has been supporting the establishment of incubators in state universities with a technical vocation since 2010 by providing them with substantial technical and financial support for the operating needs of these incubators and the financing of startup projects selected as innovative or as having high growth potentials. To date, MIGMESA has supported the establishment of 12 public incubators with a subsidy of 150 million francs CFA each for a total amount of 1.8 billion. Success stories of this program include Arthur Zhang with the CardioPad, Alain Ntef with Gifted Mom apps, William Elon, who is into the fabrication of drones. Also, the pilot National Enterprise Nursery in Edea is now in operation and has released or graduated its first batch of incubatees. Moreover, in order to
I think she has an issue with her network.
We will just give a few minutes. I think there are technical issues. Okay, I think.
Am I?
Yes, you are ready. Okay.
So I was saying that in order to promote innovation and support the development
just need to be a little bit patient.
All right. So I was talking about the business model that MIGMESA has.
Participants should just be patient. Madam's equipment is freezing. I think they're trying to sort that out. Madame, are you still there? Madame Inspector General, are you still there?
Tu es ma clé, je te suivrai. Cameroun, mon cher et beau pays, tu es béni pour la vie. Cameroun, ma chère et belle patrie, tu es béni pour l'éternité.
I have.
Okay, yeah, you are. Yes, we can hear you now.
All right, I'm very sorry about that. So I was about presenting the business model the MIGMESA has put in place, a support fund for prototype.
Madam, your equipment is frozen again.
Well, decidedly we have some interruptions, but I would continue by talking about this support type that the ministry has supported. Am I on?
Yes, you are.
All right. So I was talking about the ministry promoting innovation and supporting the development of business model by putting in place a support fund for prototype. A sum of 50 million was given to entrepreneurs to support this process. What I mean, I will try to show you how involved the ministry is into everything that concerns the And all above is a bid to improving the business climate in Cameroon. So to do that, the ministry has put in place a one-stop shop for the creation of enterprises. This brings together such as the tax office, the treasury, the social insurance fund, in order to facilitate the creation of enterprises in one spot. The Ministry of Small and Medium Size wants to improve the social climate or the business climate, not only by reducing the time of creation of enterprise to 72 hours, but further facilitates the process by introducing online creation via the application mybusiness.com, which means you can create your enterprise sitting in front of your computer. Dear youths, we urge you to look around you, identify problems, propose solutions to resolving the problems. The journey of an entrepreneur is not an easy one, but you have to be strong and determined. We call on you to make good use of the various facilities offered by government, network and build fruitful partnerships to enable you reach your destination. It is only through commitment and hard work that you will attain your goal. Let us all be brave enough to see and be the light and to facilitate the process of Cameroon being an emergent economy by 2021 through building a new Cameroon with its youth. To round up, I will just present some flagship projects of our ministerial departments for the year 2021 to which you are invited. There will be an international scientific conference on financial and non-financial support mechanisms for entrepreneurs and SMEs in the CEMAC areas. We will celebrate the National Entrepreneurship Week in all 10 regions. There will be promotion on Young Entrepreneurs Kit, and this concerns you, the youth. The creation of a global innovation center and the formalization and popularization of the National Strategy Document for Entrepreneurs in Cameroon. Your active participation in these various events will allow our country, without any doubt, strengthen the economic fabric. I sincerely hope that this conference is meaningful, stimulating, and a rewarding experience for you as you prepare to celebrate the 55th edition of our Youth Day. May it motivate you to serve the greater good, to dream big and act big, to build a country free of conflict, free of poverty and disease, and filled with opportunity and well-being for everyone. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Madam Inspector General, Madam Emilia Chindong. In spite of the technical hitches, we've managed to get through. And Madam has raised quite a number of issues. And when it will be time for questions, there are things I'm hearing for the first time myself, that there's so much money the ministry can give to people who want to open small businesses. That said, I have been looking at the chat room, and I encourage the young people who are there to send as many concerns as possible in the chat room. There will be time for them to address them directly to the keynote speakers. And one of them has been, one of the issues I've been reading here has been, they should allow young people to speak. I know you are anxious to speak. We are going to give you the room to speak. The occasion is for young people, but your elders are trying to give a rundown of what is being done for you, so that when it is your time to speak, you should know exactly to whom to address what question. So that said, we are going to listen to Professor Judith Ndongo Tori Miro, and just give me 1 minute to pull out, because this is a very distinguished professor who has been honored by the World Health Organization. Professor Ndongo, I need to really read this. She was recognized at the 72nd World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland, for 27 years of work on the field, the classroom, and the laboratory. And she is Professor of Clinical Sciences, coordinator of the Research and Doctoral Training Unit in Health and Environmental program. It's a postgraduate program of the University of Yaoundé. She is the chair of the Department of Biochemistry. She is also the coordinator of laboratories, scientific laboratories, and the Chantal Bia International Reference Center for AIDS Research. So this is a lady who has done so much in her field and so much for the country. And the young people who are here, the young women, this is an example to copy, to see what you can do and what you can become and follow these good examples. If you are ready, Professor Judith Torimiro, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Can I have the screen to share, please?
Actually, you can do
we
it
are on it.
end. You can share your screen with us from your end.
Can you see the screen?
Not yet. Yes, you can only do it from your end. So I think you go to share screen, and then you click.
Let me see.
That is what I just did.
Let me just ask an example.
I think I've done that. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see your screen right now.
Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
But I cannot see the screen.
We can see it. It's preparing to become an entrepreneur. That's the title of the screen. And
I shared it. I shared it on your behalf, Professor.
I can see a cursor on it. So
that's my
maybe what you should do, since we are saying it, you just pull it up, pull the slides up. The first slide here is the title of your presentation, and then your name and.
I help her to share the screen.
So you are the one doing it at your end.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see.
Yes, you are the one doing it. Then what is?
Cameroun, pays de Caliste Béala. Cameroun, pays de Marol Chamba. Marol Chamba, la princesse Bangoula. Baba, yo, Juk Mama, Juk Mama, Juk Cameroon,
Mr. Moderator and Your Excellencies, members of government, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors, dear panelists, and the President of the United Council for Youth Empowerment. Dear youths, ladies and gentlemen, it is really a pleasure for me to sit with the members of government. It is the first time, and a pleasure for about the third time to join the Council of Youth and United Council for Youth Empowerment to share some ideas with the youths. It is really a pleasure for me to be in the panel and to have chosen the title of my presentation, Preparing to Become an Entrepreneur. It is very easy to want to start my own business, but how do I prepare to become an entrepreneur? And most especially, how do I prepare to become a successful entrepreneur? So I'm going to share very keen observations that I've had, driving through the streets of Yaoundé since I was invited to join this conference, the panel in this conference. When you drive around, you see the young people, a lot of them struggling to make ends meet. You also realize that they are talented, but at the same time, they need to be guided to use optimally, and if possible, these talents. And that is what motivated me to develop this topic and to be able to share with us how we can prepare as a youth to become an entrepreneur. I should be on the introduction now on the third slide. Why do I want to become an entrepreneur? Is it because I have not been able to get a job? Or is it just a fancy nation? Or is there a purpose driving this motivation? Am I ready to become an entrepreneur? What is the mindset that I have? And at this point, I think it is important to know that, or to emphasize that there are many, many things a youth would need to know before engaging in starting his or her own business. I want to use an example of someone who wants to dive into a deep sea. Yes, you want to dive into a deep sea. I'm on the fourth slide. But what do I have and what do I need such that when I dive into that sea, into the depths of the sea, where I do not know what I'm going to find, how do I come out successfully? I need endurance. I need to develop the right habits, perseverance, emotional intelligence, and of course, skills. I need to evaluate myself. Who am I? What do I have and what do I need? Therefore, I need to build skills. I need to acquire competencies. I am out of the classroom. I want a job. I need to continue to acquire knowledge, continuing education. And of course, as much as I go around to evaluate myself, I will quickly identify my strengths and the areas where I am weak. But one tip is I will focus on my strengths. I will not ignore my weaknesses, but I will stand on my strengths so that I can spring up. I need to work hard. I need to work hard to succeed. If I know what I have and I know what I need a mentor. I need a professional mentor, someone who has experience, someone who has been in that business, in that trade, in that area, in that field before me. I need to build partnerships. My dear classmate, Madam Chindo, had already said that. Build partnerships, look for the right mentor to be able to help me to climb successfully in my business. I need to get the right people around me. It's not a matter of bringing my whole family around me and my friends for me to start the business. I just need the right team around me. And with all humility, I need to play the part of a mentee in the beginning. As I prepare, I need to be humble enough to learn from the mistakes that others have done. The government has put so much at our disposal as youths, but are we prepared to get into a successful entrepreneurship? Networking is key to success in every profession. Because when you sit in a group, you sit in a consortium of different people with different expertise in different disciplines, you can share best practices. We can share knowledge. We can share new challenges, new ideas, new businesses, new ways of looking at what I would like to do as my business. New markets, of course. Do I really know my customers? Do I really understand my customers? How do I keep my customers in this business? We keep learning through networks. Very important tool. If I know what I have and I know what I need, and I've been acquiring these competencies and skills to help me start off my business, I therefore need to plan. I am planning to solve problems, not just to create new products, but to solve problems for the community and for Cameroon and for the world at large. I am going to run several activities, many experiments. I will fail in some, I will succeed in some, but I will learn from my failure and I will try again. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to rise above competition, because I tell you, the business world is highly competitive. If the product is not good enough, then the customers are not going to also pay highly for that product. I have to rise over the competition. I need to be able to make hard decisions, not based on sentiments, but based on facts and what will take me through to success and our entire team. I need to be able to use information to the advantage of my business. Does it fit with my budget? Is it the right time? How do I make use of new technologies? I would like to sincerely encourage the young people that there is nothing wrong in dreaming big. You need to dream big, because the scope of what is available for young people, from the classroom right through to the field, what the government has provided, is enormous. It is huge. Dream big. Define well your objectives for your business. Not everybody was created to be an entrepreneur. But if I know what I have and I know what I need, then can I identify the business that I want to do? Can I solve a problem in this community and in this country at large? Is it the right time to invest? I need to plan wisely so that I don't waste resources and get the best out of the system. Yes, I have to dive deep into the sea because I do not know what I will find. I can succeed or I can fail. That is exactly what it means to start a new business. But again, it is important that I prepare myself emotionally to handle the challenges. It is important that I prepare myself mentally, spiritually, and physically. And of course, acquire the skills and competencies. Get the partners, get the networks. You do not need to know someone to approach that person to become your mentor. I mean, we have this challenge a lot in the classroom that, oh, how do I approach this professor to become the supervisor of my research project? I don't know her, I don't know him. You do not need to know that person. When you walk up to someone you think can be your mentor, that mentor is actually happy to be able to share what he knows with you so that you can succeed. With all of this, if I actually think at this point that I am ready to take off, to start my own business, I need to have a very beautiful name for my company, for that business. It is Cornerstone. It is the name on the board, on the billboard, the name at the top of the building of my business would attract a lot of people. It must be unique, but it must be simple. You know, it is very easy if I have to dive into the deep sea. I know that there are uncertainties. Yes, to start my own business, I know there are uncertainties. But great people bring in certainty in spite of what you know could be unsuccessful. I would just want to join my voice with the other members of the panel and to say that In Cameroon, the possibilities are there, from the educational institutions and now out in the field to seek for a job. Yes, I can start my own business because we are all full of talents, young people, full of talents. But what is important is, what do I have and what do I need to start my own business? Good luck as you celebrate the 55th Youth Day. And good luck for any of you who wants to start your own business. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Torimiro. You can see that she's multi-talented. You'll be expecting that she's coming to say something about biochemistry and all the scientific things she's doing, that she's put you on a trail of how to open a business. I was shocked myself when I said the professor also has this multi-talent to show young people, which is the right thing to do, because this is a time, we should not always be expecting government to give us. Government puts the necessary infrastructure, and then young people can know how to chart their own way. We really thank you, Professor, for this brilliant presentation. You'll be on standby. I know young people have a lot of questions to ask to answer their worries. I just want to say that the Cameroon High Commissioner to Canada will be with us. There was a little confusion in terms of time, that he has expressed his desire that he will be speaking. I don't know whether the Cameroon ambassador to France or his representative is here. Is the Cameroon ambassador to France available? Is the Cameroon ambassador to France or his representative available? If he is not, or if he is still to join us, the youth have been clamoring that one of theirs should also speak. And of course, there is one of theirs in the program, and that's Ms. Tatiana Dense. She is the Chief Executive Officer of YMD, and YMD is Youth Make a Difference. So Ms. Tatiana Dense, if you are available and you are ready, you have the floor.
And thank you very much. Can everybody get me?
Yes.
Okay. Your Excellency, ministers, ambassadors, professors, distinguished guests, fellow youths, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. My name is Dense Tatiana. I am a Cameroonian youth studying System Control Engineering in Moscow, Russia, under the Russia-Cameroon Cooperation Scholarship. I am the founder and executive director of an African youth initiative, Youth Make a Difference, and equally an entrepreneur. I am so honored to speak at this first edition of the Cameroon Youth Conference with the theme, Build a New Cameroon with its youth, to commemorate the 55th edition of the National Youth Day with the theme, Youth Resilience, Challenges, and Opportunities in the Times of COVID. I am going to speak as a Cameroonian youth in the diaspora, share my experiences and projects. I have been in Russia for the past 3 years now, and I have faced lots of challenges at the beginning, like weather condition, language problem, cultural differences, and the struggle of young Africans in Russia. So unlike other youths in Russia, I didn't see it as an opportunity to give up, but I stayed focused. Reason why, in 2018, I brought up the movement YMD, which is Youth Make a Difference, which gathers about 20 different African nations, youth from about 20 different African nations. With YMD, we have organized a series of conferences in Moscow, Russia, youth camps, trainings, and as a patriotic and civic responsibility, being a Cameroonian, last year, December 2020, we were able to do our first ever project in Cameroon called My Dream Cameroon, where we gave the opportunity to young secondary school students to tell us about their dream nation, and equally we granted school dialectics to about 3 different schools in Yaoundé. So our next project is going to be the YMD Small Business Support for the IDPs, where we're going to give support to young IDPs in Cameroon. Being a youth activist, I believe it's time for us Cameroonian youth to actively participate in building our nation. It is important for us to understand that the foundation of every state is in the education and active participation of the young people. As the Cameroonian youth, I believe us youth have a part to play in making our nation better. I have the conviction that our nation needs us, and let us come together, come out of our comfort zones and work together to build our nation. We cannot always build the future of our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. And I believe that together, one and indivisible, we will build our nation. Au gouvernement camerounais, la jeunesse camerounaise a besoin de vous. Nous avons besoin de votre soutien, nous avons besoin de votre accompagnement. Nous voulons un Cameroun où il n'y a ni de francophones, ni d'anglophones, ni de Bassa, ni de Béti, ni de Bamleki, mais un Cameroun uni. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone for your kind attention, and to all the young people from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west of Cameroon, and to the whole diaspora youth community. I wish you a happy Youth Day. Bonne fête de la jeunesse à tout le monde. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, mademoiselle Tatiana Dempsey pour votre présentation. Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Miss Tatiana Dempsey. We are moving towards the end of the speeches on the keynote speakers. It's the representative or the ambassador of Cameroon to France available now. Or is Professor Emmanuel Pondi on the line?
Prof, maybe, excuse me, maybe I'm online with the ambassador of Canada. They are struggling to log in. There's an issue. So I think at this point we can open up some questions while waiting for them.
Okay, while we are waiting for Ambassador Azumbi to come in, and maybe Ambassador Ekumu to also come in, we'll take a few questions. But before that, just to let the participants know that Professor Tori Miro's presentation is on the chat group, so you can check it right there. That's a wonderful thing that has been done to us. For those who want to have it, they can, go through it. And I see the young people writing here that, Professor, your presentation has blown off the roof. So that's beautiful. Now we can take a few questions that will be directed to the keynote speakers, the head of diplomatic mission who spoke, the ministers, the professor, and the youth who spoke from Russia. You can either raise your hand in the chat room, or you can raise your hand physically, or you can send your question in the chat room, any of that which is convenient to you. So it's time. So don't be shy. It's your day. You have been given the opportunity to ask the questions that have been bothering you or for which you want clarification. So you can either raise your hand or you can send the question in the chat room, or however you want to do it. We are ready. I see Mandua. You have a question?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Dr. Ayuk, and thank you, everybody. I'm not quite a youth, um, but it's my honor to participate. I just have a comment. I want to commend all the keynote speakers, and I would like to just say that I would like to connect. I belong to the economic. I belong to the Economic Council of the diaspora, U.S. diaspora, and I think we would like to have some of those speakers come back, particularly on creating businesses and entrepreneurs. So I just want to thank them for the presentation. I learned a lot. I thank them for taking the time. It shows their commitment to the youth. And just to say that we would like to reconnect with them again later on. Thank you, and thanks to everybody. And happy Youth Day.
Thank you very much. I see Ismailu Shifu. Yes, please, you have the floor.
Yes, His Excellency, dear participants, I have a question, and this question is directed to the Minister of Youth and Civic Education. Before that, I am Ismailu Shifu from Youth Subdivision in Donga Mantum. Yes, Mr. Minister, why is it very difficult for youth groups to be registered at the Ministry of Youth and Civic Education? The case study is my subdivision, Do Subdivision in Dongamantu as a whole. Since 2018, no youth organization has been registered at the Ministry of Youth and Civic Education. Why is it very difficult?
Okay, Your Excellency, Minister Monuna Fotso, Mr. Ismailu Shifu is wondering why it is so difficult for youths, especially from his subdivision, to register in your ministry.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. And thank you to Mr. Ismailu Shifu for his question. But once again, I would like to say to young people that till now it's surprising that part of those young people don't know exactly their ministry that give over to them by the head of state, because the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education is one of the ministry which is represented at the level of councils. We have two structures at the level of councils. Each council has a multi-purpose youth empowerment center, which is already a decentralized structure under the supervision of the mayor. And there is the subdivision delegate who is there and also representing the ministry. And the registration is not at the level at the central services, is to go and register. Normally, we put in place the Cameroon National Youth Council, which has a representative at the subdivisional level. In council, there is an executive bureau of the Cameroon National Youth Council, which is a platform of all youth associations at the level of the council. So they are supposed to be registered at that level and organize themselves in networks. There are 8 networks in the Cameroon National Youth Council bylaws. It means that each association is normally registered at the level of council, both at the level of Cameroon National Youth Council and also at our divisional delegation, and even at the multipurpose youth empowerment centers. So they should learn how to go and visit their structures. But knowing that young people now are on social networks and particularly on internet, you know, we have developed since 2016 a platform, and many platforms, but the major one is the National Youth Observatory, which is a platform that you can go online and have all the information on the different projects and programs and governmental programs or even non-governmental programs in favor of young people, and have all the answers, the responses to the preoccupation of young people. This platform is www.ongcameroon, Cameroon in French, .cm. It's accessible even on smartphone. You can discharge that platform. So there are many tools put in place to inform young people and how to, behave, how to look for information. And the other opportunity is Youth Connect Cameroon Initiative, which has also a platform. You can have all those information on those platforms. Recently, we have launched a call center. The free, the number is 1505. 1505, you can call that number and you have a counselor, a youth integration counselor who will respond live on your questions, or you send email or SMS through those platforms. You will have also a counselor that will give you all the information. So I understand Mr. Ismailo Chifu is in Donga Mountain, and I know the context. I can understand. Maybe that the context of insecurity and so on didn't permit him to benefit from all those opportunities. But again, I call upon other young people, his peers, to inform him. And I think this conference also is another opportunity for him to have all those informations. And you understand, that's why, as the head of state said, we call upon young people themselves to mobilize to restore peace, because in this insecurity, there are many opportunities that some young people who are living in those regions cannot benefit from. So I understand his the context in which he lives, and that didn't permit him to have all those informations. But I can call him again to even go on our websites, and even after this conference we'll publish. There is also a platform we created for the celebration of the 55th edition of Youth Day, which is www.villagejeunesse.cm. So what we are doing during this onzaine de la jeunesse will be put on that platform, so you'll have all the information, even some information coming out from this conference. So again, encouragement to our young brother Ismailu Shifu to try to get information, and encouragement all other young people to learn how to get information, because information is very important. And the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, as I used to say, medical doctor of young people, is there to listen to young people, have their preoccupation, and orientate them to all the different specialists who can give them right treatment for their illnesses. So this is important to understand it. They can come. We have as structures multiple for youth empowerment centers, which are covering all over the national territory, in each council and sometimes in some villages and quarters, so they can go there, or on our platforms, our counselors are there to inform them live. So that's the information I wanted to give again to Mr. Shifu. Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Excellency. We have another question from Ms. Beverly Azar. This question is directed to the Inspector General representing the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. Ms. Azar is concerned about the various incubation programs that you talked about, and she would like to know how they can benefit in these programs. How do they access these programs? Madam Inspector General, you have the floor. Madam Inspector General, Madam Emilia Chindo, there is a question directed to you on how young people can access the various incubation programs in your ministry. If you are still with us, young people will need a response to this. Okay, maybe Madam Chindo will come on to answer this question. We also have a question from Mr. Newa Franca, or is Miss Newa Franca. Says she is a student at the University of Douala. She's doing, I think it's petromine. That's what I'm reading, petromine, Cameroon, studying petroleum geophysics. She's concerned about possibilities of internships and job opportunities. And this question is directed to both ministers who spoke. So any of the minister, either Minister Issa Chiruma or Minister Mununa Fotso. The question is from Newa Franca. She's a petrochemical and geophysics student in the University of Douala. What are the possibilities for internships for them? Any of the two ministers can take the floor. Yes, okay, Minister Issa Chiruma is on. Yes, yes, Your Excellency.
Très bien, je vous remercie beaucoup. Je voudrais lui exprimer mon appréciation pour la pertinence de la question qui a été posée. Puisque c'est un débat, je voudrais d'abord savoir si lui-même, il a un métier. Parce que le problème qui se pose aujourd'hui est dans un pays immensément riche comme le nôtre aujourd'hui, qui offre des possibilités infinies en termes d'emploi. Nous souffrons malheureusement de pénurie de main-d'œuvre alors que vous avez des centaines de milliers de Camerounais qui sont au chômage. Ils sont au chômage non pas parce qu'ils n'ont pas de diplôme, ils ont des diplômes de l'enseignement général qui ne leur ouvrent pas des portes au niveau du secteur productif. Ça, c'est le problème majeur auquel nous sommes confrontés. Ma responsabilité dans ce département ministériel consiste d'abord à protéger des emplois pour le Camerounais. Je ne donne l'autorisation à un étranger de s'installer au Cameroun pour travailler que s'il est établi de manière irrévocable qu'il n'y a pas de Camerounais qui soit capable de faire le travail pour lequel un visa est sollicité. Donc les Camerounais sont des princes chez eux, ils sont privilégiés par rapport à tous les autres. Mais s'il se trouve malheureusement qu'il existe des métiers pour lesquels on souhaite donc un visa, et ce boulot, il n'y a pas de Camerounais qui détiennent le savoir et le savoir-faire, on est obligé naturellement de se plier à l'extérieur. Je voudrais, avec votre permission, monsieur le modérateur, prendre un exemple. Lorsqu'on construisait le pipeline Cameroun-Tchad, il s'est posé le problème d'avoir des soudeurs professionnels. On a fait le tour de toute la République. On n'a pas trouvé de soudeurs professionnels qui soient capables de répondre à l'appel lancé par des industriels, par des hommes d'affaires engagés dans la construction du pipeline. On a été donc obligé d'aller hors du Cameroun, je ne me souviens pas, en Thaïlande ou bien dans un pays asiatique, pour chercher des soudeurs pour venir faire la soudure au Cameroun. Maintenant, si vous me posez la question de savoir est-ce que ce problème est réglé, j'ai dit le gouvernement s'organise pour qu'il soit réglé, mais en vérité, ce problème n'est pas encore réglé. Que vais-je dire à ce jeune compatriote? Si d'aventure il a un métier et ce métier est conforme aux attentes de notre système de production, il va sans dire que je dispose aujourd'hui du FNE, Fonds national de l'emploi, qui a la responsabilité de recevoir tous les demandeurs d'emploi, vérifier leur qualification professionnelle. Si d'aventure ils ont la qualification professionnelle qui les prédispose à occuper un poste dans le système productif, dans l'industrie, naturellement le FNE opère dans l'intermédiation, c'est-à-dire il sert d'intermédiaire entre le demandeur d'emploi qualifié et le système productif qualifié. Mais si d'aventure le demandeur d'emploi n'a pas de métier, ce que nous faisons, c'est que nous, dès lors que nous connaissons les besoins de l'industrie, et si ce monsieur a donc des prédispositions, nous le prenons, nous le formons, nous payons sa formation professionnelle et au terme de sa formation professionnelle, il est donc recruté. Alors, je profite donc de l'occasion pour m'adresser à toute la jeunesse aujourd'hui qui détiennent des diplômes d'enseignement général qui ne leur ouvrent pas des portes du travail, leur dire que notre nation a besoin aujourd'hui des mécatroniciens, des électriciens, des menuisiers, des maçons, des étanchéistes. Tous ces métiers-là ont besoin, par centaines et par centaines. Aujourd'hui, pour autant que nous sommes ici, si vous avez besoin d'un plombier, Madame le professeur, je vous vois et j'ai apprécié, j'ai vraiment bu tout à l'heure votre propos. Le jour où vous aurez un problème de plombier, madame, chez vous, là, vous attendrez longtemps parce que pour avoir le plombier, vous allez chercher partout. J'ai dit donc à la jeunesse, un plombier professionnel est capable de gagner sa vie autant que le professeur d'université brillantissime qui venait de nous parler. Nous sommes donc en train de dire à la jeunesse, l'avenir de notre nation, l'émergence de notre nation. Si nous ne voulons pas que cette émergence se fasse clé en main, parce qu'il faudrait que les Camerounais, les jeunes, soient des ouvriers, des architectes de l'émergence de leur nation. Il faudrait qu'ils retroussent des manches et se mettent donc à la formation professionnelle, qu'il s'agisse du domaine de l'agriculture, de l'élevage, de l'industrie. Je profite également de l'opportunité pour dire que le gouvernement a décidé donc aujourd'hui la politique de substitution, import-substitution. Est-ce que vous savez, madame, que nous dépensons près de 1000 milliards pour importer du riz, du maïs, des poulets, ainsi de suite, que nous dépensons beaucoup d'argent pour, par exemple, acheter des médicaments que nous aurions pu fabriquer sur place. Le gouvernement donc invite cette jeunesse à se remettre en cause pour avoir des métiers, parce que vous avez des milliers de métiers qui attendent, mais qui ne sont pas occupés parce qu'il n'y a pas de professionnels. Alors, s'agissant maintenant de la question qui m'a été posée, si d'aventure il a donc un métier qui le qualifie, qu'il vienne vers moi, je l'orienterai, je ferai donc une recommandation pour son recrutement, sinon je l'enverrai donc vers le FNE, qui est donc le bras séculier du gouvernement, qui est en mesure donc de l'orienter vers des industries qui ont besoin donc de sa formation professionnelle. Voilà donc ce que j'ai à dire. Maintenant, s'il y a d'autres questions, I am ready to avail myself to answer any. I was saying that vocational training is the backbone, is the future of our nation. Without qualification, without skills and craft, you have to have a trade. We are looking forward to finding those who have a trade. Let them be in their 100 or in their 1,000. It is always possible to find a job for them.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Mr. Moderator,
I should just add a little thing because, you know, sometimes when it comes from our elders like that, the young people may be saying, oh, that's not true. I'm telling you, here in the US, the people who make more money are technicians, are plumbers, electricians. I mean, if you live, those who live in the US can testify to this. If you see, when you call an electrician to come to your house to fix something, when they will give you the bill, you would know what it means. And a lot of young people here, that's what they are turning towards now. So you should really take this seriously. The ministry headed by Minister Issa Chiruma is very, very important. But you will not understand it until you get close to them. The technical part of our development is really lacking. Sometimes people just do general studies. And when you do general studies, I mean, there is not much you can expect. People will think that if you are a plumber, it means you are a lesser person in society. No, you are not. Or if you are a bricklayer, it means you are somebody who is not important. Our young people should start taking consideration of this. That
Prof, the Minister of Youth Affairs
will give them a lot of opportunities.
The Minister of Youth Affairs, Prof, the Minister of Youth Affairs want to...
Okay, the Minister of Youth Affairs has additional comments on what his colleague has just said.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Let me add something to what the Minister of Vocational Training has said. To give again advice to our young brother Noah Franca. Alors, je voudrais m'exprimer cette fois en français pour peut-être davantage bien l'informer. Évidemment, ce que le ministre a dit, c'est vrai, mais bon, sous réserve de la réponse qu'il va donner, je crois qu'il peut être encore, parce que j'ai compris qu'il était en pétromine, donc il peut être encore sur les bancs, comme il peut être déjà en train de déscolariser. Alors, je dois lui dire qu'il faut apprendre à chercher l'emploi comme le stage. Alors, la première des choses, c'est savoir où aller quand on veut chercher un stage. Et comme j'ai dit tout à l'heure, le ministère de la Jeunesse et de l'Éducation civique, c'est un médecin de famille de la jeunesse. Même si on a mal à la tête, on appelle son médecin de famille. Vous qui êtes dans l'Occident, vous connaissez mieux que ça. Parce que le médecin de famille connaît l'historique de sa maladie, connaît mieux les problèmes qu'on a. Et c'est soit les soigner ou les orienter, ou l'orienter vers le bon spécialiste. Alors, nos cliniques de consultation sont les centres multifonctionnels de promotion des jeunes qui sont dans tous les arrondissements et parfois dans certains gros villages et quartiers. Il est à Douala, il sait qu'il y a des maisons des jeunes à Douala. Il y a des centres multifonctionnels dans chaque arrondissement. Alors, la première des choses, c'est aller là-bas parce qu'en réalité, le FNE, par exemple, n'a que des représentations au niveau régional ou parfois départemental, mais nous sommes le seul ministère qui avons des représentations à côté de la jeunesse. Donc, il faut aller là-bas, on va évaluer son problème et voir s'il faut l'orienter vers le FNE. Et à ce moment, on va lui dire comment il faut procéder. S'il faut l'orienter vers un autre partenaire, on va le faire. C'est ça le rôle du ministère de la Jeunesse. C'est-à-dire le conseiller en insertion qui est au sein du centre multifonctionnel de promotion des jeunes, qui sont des sortes de guichets uniques d'information sur et pour la jeunesse. C'est ça le centre multifonctionnel. Et tous ces programmes-là, gouvernementaux, existent. On sait quels sont les programmes qui peuvent répondre à telle ou telle préoccupation. C'est une banque de données qui existe aussi sur la plateforme de cet observatoire également qu'il peut aller chercher. Mais plus directement, je voudrais lui dire que nous avons un programme qui s'appelle Plaidoyer en faveur de l'emploi et stage des jeunes, que nous menons chaque année. Nous saisissons des structures publiques ou privées qui peuvent offrir des stages. Et ces stages-là, on les met à la disposition de la jeunesse. Et en général, nous demandons aussi aux jeunes de déposer des demandes. Il y en a qui le savent, qui déposent dans nos services. Et en fonction des offres obtenues, nous essayons d'orienter ces jeunes-là vers les stages obtenus. Ou alors, une demande directe, et nous la recommandons à la structure concernée, parce que le ministère de la Jeunesse aussi a mission de plaidoyer. Donc, on peut recommander une demande de stage, même académique ou professionnel, à une structure ciblée. Donc, ça existe. Et dans tout ça, pour davantage avoir cette information, parce que c'est en partageant les jeunes entre eux-mêmes. C'est pourquoi on a mis en place l'initiative Youth Connect, qui permet que le jeune qui a ce problème, il envoie ça sur la plateforme Youth Connect, et peut-être un des jeunes qui est dans le même domaine que lui va lui dire, il y a telle opportunité dans tel secteur qui peut vous offrir, n'est-ce pas, ce stage-là. Donc, il est important également de se connecter à d'autres jeunes à travers ces plateformes-là de Youth Connect, par exemple, pour bénéficier de cette opportunité. La même chose sur la plateforme Observatoire national de la jeunesse, parce que là-bas, vous avez plein de possibilités et même des offres, n'est-ce pas, actuelles, à côté donc des institutions comme le ministre de l'Emploi l'a dit, le FNE qui est l'organe institutionnel d'intermédiation en matière d'emploi, y compris l'emploi jeune. Mais il y a des demandes qu'on peut traiter localement avant de le référer, n'est-ce pas, au Fonds national de l'emploi qui, lui, s'occupe, n'est-ce pas, de l'emploi en général. Je dois dire aussi que beaucoup d'universités aujourd'hui, d'institutions, les incubateurs. Et nous, pour accompagner cette jeunesse extrascolaire, nous avons un programme qui s'appelle CMPJ Incubator. Donc, dans tous nos centres multifonctionnels, il y a aussi des incubateurs. À Douala particulièrement, ils en ont beaucoup. Et donc, il peut aller là-bas aussi parce que c'est le lieu d'apprentissage. Il faut savoir rédiger un CV, faire ceci. Donc, on essaie d'accompagner la jeunesse. Nous sommes le médecin généraliste. Donc, on essaie de faire tout pour accompagner la jeunesse globalement. Maintenant, quand ça devient très pointu, on l'oriente vers le ministère ou le partenaire le plus approprié. Donc, il faut que les jeunes apprennent à chercher l'information, à chercher l'emploi, à chercher les stages. Voilà ce que je voudrais dire, monsieur le modérateur.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Before we continue, there is a youth who has asked that he would like that they share the email of the Ministry of Youth Affairs. He would like that the email of the Ministry of Youth Affairs be shared so that they can have a direct connection. They can write to the ministry when they have these kinds of issues, they have questions to ask. So before the end of the meeting, I think the minister...
There is no need, Mr. Moderator. L'address, he can go on the platform that I said, www.ongcameroon.cm.
Okay.
ONG Cameroon, he'll have their addresses of all the dépendants du lieu où il se trouve. On va lui indiquer la personne, le conseiller le plus approprié suivant sa position. Donc, il n'y a pas un email, il y en a plusieurs, effectivement. Mais seulement, il faut qu'il aille sur nos plateformes, même villagejeunesse.cm, où il lance simplement, pour ceux qui sont dans la diaspora, vous savez qu'il y a le programme Paris Jeudi, programme d'aide au retour à l'insertion des jeunes de la diaspora, à travers lequel nous sommes allés aux États-Unis lancer cette première onzaine de la jeunesse. Monsieur Fabien, je l'ai félicité tout à l'heure pour le rôle qu'il a joué là-dedans. L'ambassadeur en a parlé. Donc, il suffit de mettre seulement Paris Jeudi, vous allez aller sur la plateforme et vous allez trouver l'adresse de ce programme. Et vous écrivez. Et tous ces programmes sont référencés sur la plateforme de l'Observatoire national de la jeunesse. Le plus important, c'est d'aller et lire et chercher les opportunités, les informations qui vous intéressent. Donc, je profite pour dire tout ça à l'attention aussi des autres jeunes. Je vous remercie, monsieur le modérateur.
Thank you very much. We will take a youth in the U.S., Junior McKinda. He has, I think, some comments and a question. Junior McKinda, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and thank you to all the ministers for the honor to be here today and to celebrate the youth. And I also want to thank the organizer, Mr. Fabian, for putting this event together. We are very happy to see the progress that have been made in terms of connecting the youth with our institutions. So we are really thankful for that. So a lot of progress has been made. As a representative of the youth of the diaspora here in America, especially, I would like to make a suggestion. And we all agree, Mr. Minister of Youth, we've been working together. We all agree that the contribution of the youth of the diaspora for the development of Cameroon is actually huge now. It will be very important for our institution back home to build a real link between the diaspora that wants to invest in Cameroon and our institution, not only to facilitate what we want to do back home, but also to kind of have a clear overview of the resources that are available, because we have to admit that the youth in the diaspora is a great asset for our country, the development of our country. So I would like to right now suggest to all our ministers right here represented to suggest that we connect and work together in terms of building a platform where we can bring together all the youth of the diaspora that have a project or an organization, or that are simply doing something back home, so that we can build a synergy and make their contribution more effective for the development of our country. So once more, je voudrais dire merci à tous nos ministres, à tous les ambassadeurs qui nous font l'honneur aujourd'hui d'être là. Et ma suggestion est juste celle-là, de mettre sur pied une plateforme, comme le Paris jeudi, monsieur le ministre de la Jeunesse le disait tantôt, si on peut mettre cette plateforme, mais un peu plus permanente, entre les jeunes qui veulent investir au Cameroun, ou alors qui ont des projets sociaux en faveur du Cameroun, et nos institutions, afin de pouvoir capitaliser la ressource que représente la diaspora camerounaise à la contribution du développement de notre pays. Je vous remercie une fois de plus. Bonne fête de la jeunesse à tout le monde. Et voilà, bon début d'année également. Merci.
Merci bien, Monsieur Junior McKinna, qui nous parle de New York, ici aux États-Unis. So thank you very much. Before we have indication that the Cameroon's High Commissioner to Canada is on the line. Before he comes on, let me use this opportunity to thank those who are on the ground. We know that the regional delegate from INJEC and the divisional officer for Boya, they are presently at the Lyonga Institute for Science and Technology. They are trying to do at least, they are following us directly. They have tried to, I think, gather a few young people so that they can be direct with the ministers and the ambassadors and the other young people around the world. So we thank the Lyonga Institute for this organization. That said, His Excellency Solomon Azumbi, High Commissioner of Cameroon to Canada, and we will be going to South Africa as Cameroon's High Commissioner there. If you are ready, you have the floor, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, are you there with us?
His microphone is muted.
Your Excellency, you should unmute your microphone. Your Excellency, unmute your microphone. Okay, maybe
Toi
while
qui m'as vu naître et
Excellency
grandir, toi qui m'as tenu la main,
technical service
toi,
of
pays
the
de mes
High Commission,
aïeux,
they are trying to
encore
get
toi
that
qui as fait
done.
de
Let
moi
me
un
call on
homme.
Ibuku. They have a lot they will so to moderate the program
Tu
together.
es ma clé, je te suivrai. Cameroun, mon
Gwendolyn
cher et beau
Fongo,
pays,
you are in
tu
the
es
media world.
béni
You probably
pour
have
la
a lot of
vie.
experience working with young people. You can say a few things before the ambassador comes in. Ms. Gwendolyn Fongo, you have the floor.
All right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody, Your Excellencies, and all those participating. It's really an honor for me to be here. I'm so sorry, I was supposed to moderate the conference, but I worked last night. I am now based in the United States. I worked for the CRTV for 10 years. I was a reporter for Halo. I did Tam Tam Weekend for a number of years, Celafed, and also worked at the Radio House. So I'm now based in the United States, and I have an online media channel called Gwendy Media, and I have a lot of programs where I've been inviting people, personalities, professionals, especially Africans and Cameroonians to be precise, to talk about different issues relating to development, relating to making Cameroon stand out in Cameroon and as well in the diaspora. I'll just go straight to it because we have so many more people who want to join. I want to first of all say thank you to Your Excellencies for making out the time to be here. It means a lot to me personally as a youth from Cameroon that you all could make out the time to be here, to listen to us and to share all the knowledge that you had to share with us. Alrighty, so I have had the opportunity of working with a lot of youth out here in the United States as well in Cameroon, who have so many projects. Like a lot of them have projects, they've come up with maybe creative ideas, but the one thing that I realized that they always complain about is the access to funding. One of the youth that I recently interviewed on my platform is Javni Joybear. I know he just joined. I asked him to join the broadcast. He is a trainer and coach, and he's been working with a lot of organizations and especially youths, helping them out with startups and all of that. Now, one thing that I really want to bring forth here, I recently had an online program, a debate, because creatives in Cameroon, artists, producers, actors and all of that, the creatives, they had a big issue that was going on. Somebody started a brawl online about the fact that Cameroon is losing its cultural identity to other countries, particularly Nigeria. The reason why I wanted to bring that up is because the entertainment industry is a very powerful tool. It has been known to improve on relations and so many other things in the country. And so there was one thing that they did make mention of, and that they wanted, they were hoping for the government to take that into consideration.
Ms. Gwendolyn, sorry
Can you hear me?
The ambassador is on the line and he's been waiting for quite some time.
Okay. So let's take the ambassador. Hopefully I can finish my point. Thank you.
You have the floor.
His microphone is still on mute.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes. Well, good afternoon and good morning to those who are out this way. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and thank the organizers of this meeting. Permit me to recognize and pay my tribute to the Excellencies, the ministers on the panel, and my colleagues, the Excellencies, the ambassadors also. I am sorry there was a little
timing. So I'm joining the the organizers of this, the Cameroonian Youth, for me to join you at Youth Day. This day was instituted by Cameroonian authorities to underscore the pivotal role of the youth in nation building, in ensuring continuity and renewal through initiatives. So, and nobody more than our head of state has on remitting commitment to the role of the youth in nation building. I think through you can see that government has paid a lot of attention on youth matters, whether it be in education and employment, and in further education. The president has done a lot. I know personally a lot of things that he's done to make sure that the Cameroonian youth find their place and move our country forward. And I think the youth are all lucky to be growing up at this time in our country. There are numerous opportunities beckoning on you in the public sector, in the private sector, in industry. There are lots of opportunities in the arts. I heard someone talk about the arts, the music, sports, film industry. There are just limitless opportunities. Some would like to say there are problems, but I say without problems, you cannot find opportunities. The opportunities only exist where you have problems. And all the great inventors of Apple and all the other things, you know, all these smart technologies, they invent them because they are seeking to solve human problems. So our youth must not be afraid to confront problems. Problems are meant to stimulate our creativity and ensure that we come alive with new initiatives, with new and bold innovations that will carry ourselves forward and also our nation ahead. To leverage and take advantage of existing opportunities, you need to show proof of greater intelligence and charisma, as I said. But I want to think, to say that there's one thing that I strongly recommend for the youth of Cameroon today, and it is developing people's skills, good people's skills, good human relations. Because there are so many intelligent people out there, so many dynamic people out there, so many charismatic people out there, but they are not always the most successful because they fall behind in people's skills. They do not know how to deal with other people. And it is important that you learn how to deal with other people. Today's world is a networked world where everything is networked. Even war is networked. You saw how people would, the countries of the West networked to fight, say, Libya and so on. But it's not only in war, it's in business, it's in public service, in everything you want to do. Networks are very important. And there are some critical factors that I offer to our youth. And it's nothing new. There's nothing we really can invent here. I just want to conclude by reminding our youth of the three great supremacies of life. The three great supremacies of life, which are faith, hope, and love. That's an ancient, you are all familiar with that. I know some of you will know where that is coming from. It's an ancient writer in the Bible who said that in the end, only those three things remain. Why? Because without faith in yourself, nothing is possible. And you also, but faith, hope, and love have three dimensions. You must have faith, hope, faith in yourself, faith in others, because you always need others, and faith at a vertical level in God above, at a horizontal level with man. You must have hope for yourself, and then hope on a horizontal level further on your neighbor, and at a vertical level with God. Love is the same thing. You must love yourself, love others, and love God. And that's just what I want to share with the Cameroonian youth. I know you've spoken a lot about the practical things and so on, things that I hope can come into bind the cement. They can come in like the cement of the heart in economics, in politics, in whatever, in the arts and so on. And I know that with our youth, we are in for a brilliant country. Our country is moving forward. And I just came back from Cameroon a few weeks ago to prepare for my move. Our youth are doing. And I encourage you to continue working hard and to continue having faith in yourselves, in our country, in the institution, in our leaders. If you do not know how to follow, you cannot know how to lead. And it is better that you be patient and you develop strong faith. Hopelessness is just the worst thing, and I think no youth should ever give in to the great evil of hopelessness. And I thank you all, and a happy Youth Day again. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the High Commissioner to Canada and now to South Africa, His Excellency Solomon Azombi. You will stand by. There may be some questions who would need your attention, because that's also part of the reason for this platform. There are a number of questions for Minister Issa Chiruma. I know he wants to leave, but there are many young people on the platform who have questions for you. One of them, Your Excellency, at least you just take one or two before you leave, is that there are these young people who are doing fishing, but they say they don't have a dashboard for Cameroon fish farmers. There's no connectivity amongst them. Everybody is just doing their thing in their own way, and so there is no way they can come to a common platform. This question is from Ms. Beverly Azza. She wants to find out whether your ministry has a dashboard for fish farmers.
Très bien. Je suis là. Je vous remercie infiniment, Monsieur le modérateur. Je voudrais m'adresser d'abord à la jeunesse, dont nous célébrons les prouesses aujourd'hui et demain. Il faut qu'ils réalisent qu'ils sont les bâtisseurs du Cameroun d'aujourd'hui et de demain. Il faudrait qu'ils se préparent à acquérir le savoir et le savoir-faire qui leur permettront d'exploiter toutes les richesses naturelles immenses dont nous disposons aujourd'hui, mais qui ne sont pas exploitées, Leur exploitation nécessite l'engagement et l'acquisition de savoirs de qualité. Ils savent que nous sommes la nation la plus riche, l'une des plus riches en termes de réserves en ceci, en cela. Ils le savent très bien. Le problème qui se pose maintenant, c'est celui du savoir et du savoir-faire. Du savoir et du savoir-faire. Leur nation les attend. La deuxième chose, Madame le ministre, Madame le professeur a dit tout à l'heure, l'ambassadeur tout à l'heure a dit, est-ce qu'ils ont foi en eux? Est-ce qu'ils ont foi en leur grandeur eux-mêmes, la grandeur de leur nation? Est-ce qu'ils le comprennent? Est-ce qu'ils le comprennent? Est-ce qu'ils comprennent que sur la planète Terre, là, il n'y a que ici qu'ils peuvent dire I am at home and I am proud to be what I am and I am ready to deliver. Donc, je voudrais d'abord, en tant que collaborateur chef de l'État, mais en tant que politique, leur dire qu'il faut qu'ils aient foi d'abord en eux-mêmes. Il faut qu'ils aient foi en leur nation et qu'ils savent et qu'ils réalisent que leur nation les attend. Leur nation les attend. Maintenant, pour répondre à cette question, la réponse est oui. Au niveau des plateformes de la Chambre d'agriculture, à l'INAFI, à Limbe, ou au projet AFOP au Minader, tout ce que notre jeune compatriote voudrait savoir dans le cadre de la pisciculture, ça existe. Ça existe. Donc c'est tout à fait possible qu'ils trouvent tout ce dont ils ont besoin pour promouvoir leur esprit. Je voudrais donc, avec votre permission, me retirer, mais dire notre disponibilité. Je rappelle, nous avons besoin de soudeurs, nous avons besoin de plafonniers, nous avons besoin des étanchéistes. Un étanchéiste, un bon plombier peut gagner comme un professeur d'université et mieux que ça. Il ne faudrait pas qu'on focalise l'attention pour aller à la Lune alors que les travaux de la Terre ne sont pas terminés. Je profite donc de l'occasion pour attirer leur attention et leur dire que mon bureau est ouvert. My arms, my heart, my doors always are open, ready to listen. Je voudrais m'adresser à la diaspora également pour dire que je suis... Venez ouvrir les centres de formation professionnelle au Cameroun pour la formation des soudeurs, des étanchéistes. Nous avons... We need you. If you have a means, I advise you to come and invest in vocational training. It is possible to make a lot of money. Je dis donc qu'il n'y a pas de plombier chômeur, il n'y a pas de carreleur chômeur, il n'y a pas de mécatronicien chômeur, il n'y a pas d'étanchéiste chômeur, ça n'existe pas. Donc, et des métiers comme ça dans le domaine de l'agriculture, dans le domaine de l'élevage, dans le domaine... There are a lot to do. Et l'émergence du Cameroun, c'est vous qui allez construire. Le président dit toujours, préparez-vous à recevoir en héritage votre nation que vous allez bâtir. Je vous remercie infiniment. I'm very much grateful and thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. There is a question for the Minister of Youth Affairs, even though this is not probably within your purview, but this youth speaker is very concerned that their young people these days, they are having difficulty having ID cards, having passports, and that they say that the future is for the youths when they cannot have basic travel documents. What is it, even though you are not in the national security, but what is it you as their youth minister, you can do to speak to the government to help them solve these problems? That some of them are being arrested or killed because they don't have basic documents. His name is Melvin Day. So this is a question he's posing to the Youth Affairs Minister. What can you do to help young people solve this major problem in Cameroon of not having ID cards and passports? If it is possible to answer, Your Excellency.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le modérateur. Cela m'amène une fois de plus à poser la question si ces jeunes sont allés vers leur médecin de famille. Oui, parce qu'en réalité, ceux qui le savent, et même dans la diaspora, il y a des jeunes qui, parce qu'ils veulent voyager ils ont une bourse et le délai est très court, ou qu'ils sont à l'étranger et se rendent compte que leur passeport est périmé. Il y a plusieurs recommandations que j'ai faites au DGSN et les problèmes ont été résolus. Je dis, le ministère de la Jeunesse est l'avocat de la jeunesse et le médecin de famille de la jeunesse. Il faut poser les problèmes. Il ne faut pas se limiter à se plaindre en réalité de certaines difficultés. Bon, là où le ministère ne peut pas résoudre, il va recommander. Et je peux vous garantir que chaque fois qu'il y a eu des associations pour leur déplacement à l'extérieur, pour participer à des conférences, pour, je ne sais pas, les études, comme j'ai dit, chaque fois, on a saisi le délégué général à la Sûreté nationale pour dire, malgré le contexte qui était de carence en matière de passeport, par exemple, il a souvent donné réponse pour que ces passeports soient délivrés à temps pour que l'enfant aille rattraper ses études ou alors rattraper sa conférence ou son atelier à l'extérieur. C'est notre rôle. Donc, mais il peut le faire partout sur le territoire national ou dans la diaspora. Les ambassadeurs, je suis content que vous les ayez associés à cette rencontre parce que c'est eux qui représentent le chef de l'État et chacun des ministres. Apprenez aussi à fréquenter, pour la diaspora, à fréquenter nos ambassades. Nos représentations diplomatiques sont là. Quand elles nous saisissent, nous, automatiquement, on relaie, on essaie de répondre à cela. Donc, vous pouvez, je crois que j'ai déjà reçu un cas venant d'une représentation diplomatique hein, d'un jeune, et nous avons résolu ce problème en recommandant par exemple au DGSN. Donc, tout est possible. Maintenant, il y a les problèmes de carte nationale d'identité, par exemple pour les déplacés internes, etc. Vous savez que ça aussi, c'est des questions que nos services sont en train d'adresser. Savez-vous par exemple que nous avons lancé il y a à peu près un an, pas un an, 2 ans, avec l'appui déjà de la diaspora des États-Unis, et je voudrais encore une fois de plus la féliciter. C'est le docteur Dokmo qui est en train de mettre en place aujourd'hui, après le FODIAS, le Haut Conseil de la diaspora. Ce sont des plateformes qui nous permettent d'avancer. Et je dis grâce à, par exemple, cette coopération, aujourd'hui nous avons ce qu'on appelle la carte jeune biométrique. Ça veut dire que le jeune peut avoir une carte jeune biométrique qui est exactement authentifiée, qui lui permet d'accéder à des services sociaux de base à des coûts préférentiels ou à des coûts zéro avec les partenaires avec lesquels le ministère a signé. Et cette carte, à partir du moment où elle est délivrée avec l'appui de la DGSN et du CED, elle est valable, c'est-à-dire autant que toute autre pièce d'identité. Hein? Donc, c'est pour vous dire simplement que il faut que les jeunes apprennent à poser les problèmes aux bons endroits et à fréquenter les structures qui sont dédiées, parce que beaucoup se réussissent à aller vers les administrations compétentes et c'est pas bon, parce que la citoyenneté aussi, c'est faire confiance aux institutions de la République, aux institutions qui sont là au service. Il ne faut pas qu'on se plaigne en disant du mauvais accueil alors qu'on n'y a même pas été. Aujourd'hui, grâce au programme Paris Jeudi, tous les Camerounais, les jeunes surtout, qui veulent rentrer au pays, ont de la facilitation pour venir soit investir, soit venir faire une activité quelconque d'intérêt général, ou venir simplement explorer la situation. Et je vous dis, il vous accompagne à tous les guichets. C'est-à-dire que vous pouvez préparer votre déplacement en ligne avec le Paris Jeudi, et à l'arrivée, vous êtes accueilli par une équipe puisqu'il a un guichet pour ça. Et il vous recommande, en fait, moi, je vous recommande, puisque c'est lui qui me propose les recommandations, à tous les ministères ou les structures que vous voulez rencontrer. La preuve qu'à l'instant où je vous parle, il y a un de nos compatriotes qui est de la diaspora, j'espère que certains ont suivi le reportage, Thomas Biolay, qui est le physicien nucléaire que vous connaissez pour certains, qui est en train de faire le tour du Cameroun, qui a été reçu par beaucoup de structures, des chefs de départements ministériels, parce qu'il a émis le vœu de venir donner quelque chose à son pays, rendre ce que le pays lui a donné, et notamment venir vulgariser l'amour de la physique aux enseignants de physique et aux jeunes scientifiques des classes de terminale et des universités et des écoles polytechniques. Ce travail est en train d'être fait. Ne prenez, bon, certains doute évidemment, mais aujourd'hui, je vous dis, il y a des exemples concrets. Il y en a qui sont venus donner, mais faire du volontariat. Nous avons un programme national de volontariat qui accompagne ceux qui veulent venir donner un peu de leur énergie au Cameroun. Il y en a qui sont venus, qui veulent aussi investir. Nous les avons mis en contact avec peut-être des jeunes pour qu'ils soient en joint venture. C'est-à-dire monter des affaires ensemble avec des jeunes Camerounais aussi qui sont financés par nos programmes ici. Et ça, vous pouvez demander au docteur Dogmo qui est en train de monter, qui a monté ce haut conseil, par exemple, de la diaspora. Et je pense qu'il faudra que ces genres d'initiatives se multiplient. Je voudrais simplement conclure en disant que M. Mekinda Junior, qui a posé la question tout à l'heure, qui a fait une suggestion que je connais bien et avec qui nous avons déjà travaillé sur au moins 2 projets, il le sait. Nous sommes là, nous n'attendons qu'accompagner ceux qui veulent venir faire quelque chose au Cameroun. Et je pense que ces 2 projets-là sont en train de marcher et qu'il a des interlocuteurs ici au Cameroun qui travaillent avec lui. Lui, il est à New York. Donc, je pense qu'il faut, disons, vulgariser ce genre d'informations pour que la jeunesse de la diaspora ait confiance et même celle du territoire apprenne à faire confiance aux institutions pour dire que c'est possible. Quand on a un problème, on peut le poser, on peut avoir la solution. Donc, je voudrais féliciter une fois de plus Fabien et dire à Fabien, ça c'est peut-être, je vais le dire en conclusion finale, mais je le dis déjà pour dire que l'initiative qu'on est en train de faire, ça fait partie de la composante Youth Connect, Hangout de Youth Connect Cameroun que nous avons lancé. Et tout à l'heure, j'ai instruit mes collaborateurs pour que désormais Fabien et son équipe fassent partie de la task force de Youth Connect Cameroun représentant les USA pour que ce hangout-là qui intègre la diaspora soit organisé peut-être même mensuellement, parce que c'est possible aujourd'hui, grâce, je ne disais pas que le malheur fait, disons que fait le bonheur parfois, mais aujourd'hui, à cause de la pandémie de Covid-19, le hangout est rentré dans les habitudes. C'est-à-dire que beaucoup de visioconférences et au Cameroun aujourd'hui, on peut, toutes les semaines, on le fait avec nos jeunes des régions. Donc, aujourd'hui, il faut qu'on le fasse aussi avec les jeunes de la diaspora pour que vous, aux États-Unis, vous parlez aux jeunes de l'extrême nord qui sont dans leur contexte de vulnérabilité et que, ce faisant, ils comprennent, ils apprennent quelque chose. Donc, voilà un peu le message que je voulais laisser une fois de plus aux jeunes et en les encourageant à chercher l'information et la bonne information. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. There are still a good number of questions coming in, and there will be some for you, some for the Ambassador Cameroon to the US, and some to the High Commissioner in Canada. But first, there is Mr. Kaigama Ismail, who is concerned that sometimes they don't have easy access to ministers. They try many times, either the Secretariat is just raising this concern as young people. We have Cyril Fonyonga Fonjong. You have been showing your hand up sometime about a question. Mr. Cyril Fonyonga Fonjong, are you available now?
Thank you very much, moderator. Your Excellencies, I'm Cyril Fonyonga Fonjong from Batsibo in Cameroon, presently in Maryland, USA. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact of the Youth Connect the minister spoke about. I was happy to be part of the Youth Connect that went to Rwanda in 2017. I want to encourage all youth to follow the Youth Connect, which is in Cameroon right now, because it's a great platform that gives opportunity to youth out there. The second point I have here is back in Cameroon, I've spent 6 or 7 years working with my community and other communities, empowering them. One of the things that grassroots organizations lack in Cameroon is the access to funding. Most people that have funding are organizations that are already top, that have the connections out there. they know quite well. But there are other grassroots organizations that they don't have funding at all. They try, but all means possible. If you don't have a means up there, you will not have funding. There's a whole lot of them. I'm saying it because I left Cameroon 2 years ago, and it was difficult for us to have funding to run our projects. At times, we look for external funding for run projects, and most of these youth, they have brilliant and good projects, just like me too. I had great projects, but at times it failed because I had to use my own funding, and to access funding from the government was quite difficult, very, very difficult. The next thing is, I wish to ask the ambassador, how possible is it for you, for a youth for Cameroonian youth based in USA, to register his or her organization from the US and to also have a business document? Because most of us want to do businesses, want to raise our organizations so that we can keep on doing empowerment back home. But at times it's difficult. We find it difficult to go forward with it. And as the minister of already said, it's possible. Let us create a youth connect hangout for Cameroonian youth in the US, because we have a whole lot of Cameroonian youth that we haven't dissected. Because if you get into it, believe me, there are a whole lot of Cameroonian youth in USA that are ready to empower the community, to empower Cameroon back, but we don't have that positive means, because at times we just feel that it's been meant for a particular group of youth. There's a whole lot of youth. For example, me. All right, the next thing there is, I want to ask is, some of us, we have the opportunity to do things, but we are blocked, really blocked with the aspect of dual nationality. Because there are a whole lot of youth trying to do things, but they are blocked with the aspect of dual nationality. I wish to plead on the minister that if it's possible, let us put this and really put it to our lawmakers so that they should allow access. I mean, they should give opportunity for us to have dual nationality so that we could better integrate ourselves back home and empower our community in various aspects. The last but not the least, that was being said by Minister Issa Chuma Bakari. Part of the thing I do in USA, I'm a photographer, and I've been doing everything possible to empower young photographers back in Cameroon. And I have a movement of young Cameroonian photographers in USA that are brought together for us to look for a means to empower photographers back home. And I really wish the minister, the embassy here, to assist us to give us that means, because at times sending things back home to assist the young photographers that is in the field of vocational training is difficult, because we are doing this to empower our younger generation. They are back there in Cameroon. They don't have means to get some certain gadgets, but we have come together to empower them. But at times, our hands are short. We need people like the embassy to assist us quite well. Once again, I want to say that I miss celebrating Youth Day in Cameroon. I miss my youth, but I will never, ever step down being a patriotic of Cameroon. I'm Sri Fonyoka Fonjong from Batibu, Northwest Region, based in Maryland, USA. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fonjong Fonyonga. There are, I think, one or two questions for the ambassador of Cameroon to the US. I think he's been quiet for some time. We'll give him the opportunity to address your two concerns. One, if I do remember, has to do with passport. Is that right?
Yes. Dual nationality.
With dual nationality, with passport. And I would just add, there is another person on the line who has asked, this is also for the ambassador, so that you can answer at once. Your Excellency, there is a youth who is, I think, from California, that end of the country, that why is it not possible for you to arrange a team to come over to their area to come and help them with passports, take like 2-3 days and come over, and that he knows that this kind of thing is done elsewhere. So if you can just join all the two questions and answer. Thank you, Excellency. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for the two important questions. I think the first one relating to the passport, and let me rather put it this way. The attempts of the embassy of getting closer to the community, the diaspora, is a real effort But one has to keep in mind the reality we are going through. We are in charge of a country with the size of a continent. And we are here we are represented here in Washington, D.C. It has been our wish to be able to deploy ourselves across the United States and provide the services expected from us. The reality is that despite our goodwill to achieve this objective, we are facing a crucial problem of lack of resources. The lack of, when I say resources, it's not only financials. We have a lack of human resources. Just to give you an idea, the passport services and the consular section in general, we are facing a crucial a situation of pressure due to the fact that we lack human and trained resources. So we have one effectively trained agent, and he is the one playing a key role in the many aspects the consular service has to deal with. So, which sometimes give the impression to the customers, our customer, that we are not investing the necessary attention to their needs. It is one thing to be here providing the service from the embassy. A different thing is to dispatching the embassy staff in order to help our people wherever they are supposed to be across the United States. But this requires a lot of means. So I have been advocating since day one of my taking over here in the United States this specific issue. Because if we can exchange here, and I could make any kind of pledge to you, but if the means do not follow, we can only keep talking. You know, it was 2 months ago, because in addition to United States, my jurisdiction, I have Mexico among many other countries. I have Mexico under my jurisdiction. So I had, due to the pressure coming from there, I had to dispatch one of my staff members, and he went there to trying to solve those of problems that could be solved on the spot. And he met the diaspora, those whose problem couldn't be addressed there in Mexico. He brought them to us here in DC. This is to say, you know, we are looking forward for our country to be represented in a more effective way here in the United States, because in addition to this embassy, there is a need for to satisfy and to cover the needs of our people. There is a need of one or two more structures, given two more structures of representation here in the United States, given the size of the country. It is you can be assured that this issue is one of my constant concern, and I've been exchanging with the government on that respect. We think these things cannot be solved. This problem cannot be solved the way we see them. It takes a long time to, I would say, from the inception of such an idea and project to make it a project, and then to have it accepted and to be budgeted. So we are in that process. We don't know. We cannot pledge here to telling you that it will be done within such and such time frame. But it's my role and the role of the embassy here in the United States to keep sensitizing the government over the need to be to have the possibility of a broader a broader cover of this of our people here in the United States. I think this is what I can say on the first aspect of the question. The second is relating to the dual nationality. This is a recurrent issue that has always been brought to my attention in every occasion I have had to meet with our compatriots. You know, my answer will be the very same one I made last November when we met with the diaspora here, telling them that the role of the embassy, it's essentially an administrative, the embassy is playing an administrative role. The issue at stake belongs to the competence of the legislator. So long as this issue of dual nationality is not finalized at the level of the legislator, the only thing, and my advice would always be to the diaspora, we have to be patient. In the meantime, I think we are trying our best here to so that those amongst our compatriots who are in need to visit Cameroon for many reasons, our role here is to facilitate the conditions enabling them to, whether they are traveling for business, for family matters, for any other reasons. Our role is to to ease the conditions to them. This shouldn't be, we should make a distinction when we refer to this facilitation of the condition of traveling Cameroonian to their country of origin. We have to make a distinction between the pre-COVID era and the post-COVID, which we are today going through. COVID has come to change our habits and our customs. And if you take a look around around you, you will see, you can observe and notice that in every part of the world, every country is trying on a day-to-day basis to readjust itself according to the informations, a lot of information that are at our disposal concerning the how fast this pandemic is spreading across the world. So there is not no clear-cut policies, even here in the United States. The borders are not completely open. So is the case in Cameroon. So it is. This has to be bear in mind by everybody. The situation we are going through today, that could lead to the impression that we are making trouble to our people while they want to go and visit Cameroon. There is the major concern of the government is with the public health. And I think it's worldwide, this concern is worldwide shared. And this explains why sometimes things that used to be not difficult to address are today a little bit more, it's taking a little bit more longer time than in the past. So I think concerning to conclude on that specific aspect of the dual nationality, it is a pledge the head of state made a few years ago to take good note of the this request emanating from the diaspora. So it is a political issue, and it is also a legal one. So the appropriate body dealing with this issue is the national representation. So we are still waiting to see when the deliberations would enable us and a law put in place enabling our compatriots here, not only here, who are worldwide spread, giving them the possibility to enjoy this advantage of dual nationality. In the meantime, we can only wait, and this is my my advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Let me add one more thing. I think it is important. The Minister of Youth was vocal in reminding our compatriots to not to hesitate to come to the embassy. For those who have projects, the embassy is the door through which you know it, and you can channel anything you want the government to be aware about. So those among you who have solicited in the past to transmit their sensitizing us on over their project, we have done our best because it is part of the duty of the embassy here to optimize the possibility of opportunity and channeling them to Cameroon, so that those at the origin of such project can be meet the appropriate authorities and to find solutions to some of their concern. So I would like to reiterate here that this is amongst many attributions of the embassy here in Washington, is collecting all the projects. They are being presented by our diaspora, and to channel them to Yaoundé and putting in contact a competent authority with the diaspora. It is part of our roles and our obligations. So I want you to know that we are here to do and to promote this kind and type of collaboration between the diaspora and the Cameroon. So thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your clarifications to the question raised by Mr. Cyril Fonyonga Fonjong. There was one aspect of the question which had to do with registering the association. Can only inform Mr. Fonyonga that he can register, bring his document to the embassy. The ambassador will transmit to Yaoundé to the appropriate quarters. And the High Commissioner to Canada, you have a question and a comment from one of the young people. I don't know whether he's asking this from Canada, but like he knows you are leaving and he wants to thank you for the great work you have done. Is asking what are the facilities at the High Commission for young people who want to go back to Cameroon to invest or to start a business. What can you do at your level to facilitate that transition? Mr. High Commissioner, if you are available, can you address the concern of the youth? In the meantime, is the High Commissioner available to address that?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, please. You should unmute your microphone.
Okay, good now?
I hear you now.
Good. Well, thank you. I think, and I thank him for the compliments. For the question, the embassy, like my colleague said in Washington, Ambassador Tundi, the High Commission is also a consular house. That means it's in charge of conducting business, promoting and encouraging business relations. So we are always open to receiving business proposals, facilitating. We do not hesitate to write letters to support projects that are good and can be beneficial to the country. So any person with a project, a good project, whatever, come to see us. Sometimes we help them to present these projects in a nice way, in a way that will be acceptable. We follow up not just with letters to competent authorities in Yaoundé, various government departments, but sometimes we actually call, and then we work in synergy with the other authorities involved to make sure that these projects go through. I have come up with very interesting projects in IT and many other business partnerships, and we, as my colleague said from Washington said, we not only help with facilitating visa procedures, but we provide you with all the legal parameters, all the things that are required to register your business at home, and to make sure that things move successfully. So I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. The Minister of Youth Affairs, you have quite a good number of things here to respond to. There is Harold Mosinge. He is concerned that they have been doing a lot of effort to weed out bad elements in social media, which have been posing a problem even to Cameroon security. They've been trying to educate young people about the positive use of social media, but that the organization, which is Renewed Mind Leaders, that no matter how they try, they are not recognized, they are not given the visibility they want or they would like to have, that he doesn't know whether you are aware of them. And then the next question, I would just want to package this so that you respond at once. Even though this person said the question was meant for Minister Issa Chiruma, but that in his absence, he's wondering if you can answer. He is Joseph Nkongo. He says there's much talk about young people going into technical education. But when he looks at the educational system in Cameroon, that the government still encourages non-technical education. More attention is given to non-technical education, and to the point that they make people who attend technical schools look like those who are not very educated. So you as a cabinet member, what is it you can do because school is young people, what is it you can do as a cabinet member to carry this cry to hierarchy, if you can? And then after that, we'll have Modeste Jeanine Bunwe who will have a question. If your question is for the Minister of Youth Affairs, you can just ask it so he answers at once. Is your question for the Minister of Youth Affairs? Mr. Modeste, are you there? In the meantime, Your Excellency, let us just show the people in Boya, they are online, and since connectivity is a problem sometimes, Southwest, I see the Southwest group there. Unmute yourself, and you can say hello to the ministers, the ambassadors, and all the other distinguished panelists. I saw you people waving. The regional delegation of Minjek.
Please, the microphone, I see the delegate.
Yes, okay. Here we are, Madam Delegate.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, the ambassadors and all the members in this beautiful conference. We are very, very privileged to take part in this conference. In fact, we have really appreciated the presentations. We are here in Canada sometimes, and this can be very, very patient, but we have tried to be there so that we can listen and get what we can get and see how we can also use this opportunity from the advice and all the contributions that have been made to make sure that we also contribute in our own quarter, in this our home part of the country. I want to thank you very much, and we just wish that the presentations that were made, I really enjoyed Dr. Torino's presentations. We just pray that these presentations be posted so that we can really share with the others who are not here, so that they can also understand what has been done so far, or how they can also follow, to do their own, go about their own options or choices. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Delegate. If any of the young people there want to say something, they don't need the microphone. Who hear, they just need to speak like that. Any of the young people want to have the opportunity to address their concerns to their minister or to the ambassadors or to Professor Torimiro, who has a question here on health and COVID. Yes, you can go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
No, Mr. Mawel, just wait. We are still with the people in Boya. We'll come back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to thank...
To be a little bit louder.
All right. I would like to start by thanking our president of USUAE, United Council for Youth Empowerment, Mr. Yonga Fabian, for this opportunity granted upon us. And I equally want to thank our regional delegate here present for streaming the program live for us. And I equally want to thank all the ministers on board, the ambassadors, for their words. I believe and I know that these words that have transpired to us has made a difference and will impact the life of youths here in the Southwest. We are so grateful to hear from you over there in the diaspora and the ministers, and in fact we are so happy. Thank you very much.
What's your name, please?
My name is Harold Mosinge.
Okay, yes, you are the one who raised the question on you now you are on. The minister can see you on the work you are doing to weed out bad what I should say elements or things on social media. Encourage youth to say positive things on social media. So we thank you very much. You should still be seated. Anytime any of you want to respond to something, just let us know and we'll come back to you in the Southwest. Now we have Mr. Modest Jenny Mbunwe. You have a question, I think, for the minister or for the ambassadors. You have the floor so that the ambassador can answer, the minister can answer all at once.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator. You rightly called my name. I'm Modest Jenny. I am from Northwest region, Dongan Mantun Division. I'm resident here in Washington, D.C., and I'm a journalist with Media 2 Africa. It's one of the most followed platforms here in the United States and in Canada. My question is to the ambassador to the United States, Cameroon ambassador to the United States. So we've been trying to reach out to him several times. I know he's a very busy person, but we feel like the team around him is not making things easy for us, because we've been hosting, organizing platforms where we have welcomed youth who have interesting projects that we could also relay to him. So we get in kind of working sessions to try to see how these things can reach to him, so the messages go through. But I just want to check with the ambassador, how can we possibly reach him without these bottlenecks? Because we've tried on multiple occasions and it has not been easy, and we're just a stone throw from the embassy. So I would love to hear from the ambassador himself. I want to thank you for this initiative, and I pray it continues so we can have opportunities to talk to him directly and other ministers too.
Thank you very much, Mr. Modest Jenny Mbunwe. Your Excellency, Mr. Mbunwe is concerned that he has tried to get in contact with you. Maybe it's us. your collaborator who don't want him to have that contact. So you are right there. You can respond to him. Your Excellency, you have the floor before we get back to the minister. Your Excellency, you should unmute your microphone.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Moderator. I was asking also to intervene because I am managing 2 video conferences at the same time, so I have to go and close the second one.
Okay.
So I wanted to conclude here by responding maybe to some preoccupations, but I think the ambassadors have already responded to all those preoccupations, but I would say only to Mr. Fondo on that his suggestion is very important and can be a solution to the other problems he was highlighting, particularly the dual nationality. If at the level of the USA you have a Youth Connect network, as he recommended, I'm sure that he'll find solutions proposed by other Cameroonians, because what I know, I can assure you that there are foreigners who are doing activities here in Cameroon and coming, investing easily, accessing here in Cameroon easily. I'm sure that it's not Cameroonians by origin that can have problems, since the ambassador said they are there to facilitate. But I can also assure you that by preparing your arrival by our collaborators through, for example, the program Paris Jeudi, you can even have facilities before either at the embassy or at the arrival. So it means that there is no problem for that, and I can assure you that there are already other young Cameroonians who are benefiting from that initiative, coming here for their businesses without any problem. So I think that it cannot be an handicap for your investing, your activities here in Cameroon. The other conclusion I wanted to make is really to thank the ambassadors from Canada, also from particularly from USA, as he said it in his remarks. I think USA, Washington, D.C. was the first embassy to to launch the Onzaine de la Jeunesse. It was 2-3 years ago. So I think today is the same initiative. They are pioneer in organizing this Youth Connect Hangout Cameroon. So what I can encourage him to do is to patronize this initiative with the youth associations there, particularly Mr. Fabian, as I said, who can be a focal point for that initiative, Youth Connect Cameroon initiative in USA, and the other young Cameroonians who are working with him and other associations, so that every month or frequently we can organize such social hangout or video conferences, so that we can benefit young people either from the Cameroon National Territory or abroad, can benefit from all the information we are giving through those conferences. So this is my expectation, and I'm sure that they'll do everything to make it possible. Une fois de plus, je voudrais vraiment remercier l'initiative du jeune Fabian avec son association et des autres Camerounais qui ont permis cette première visioconférence qui aura regroupé d'une centaine quand même de personnes. C'est pas mal, même au Cameroun ici, ces derniers temps, avec les jeunes, nous n'avons pas souvent atteint ce chiffre. Donc, ça veut dire que avec la qualité des intervenants, nous avons là de la matière et nous allons capitaliser cela dans le cadre de la onzaine de la jeunesse, les actes de la onzaine, mais également sur nos plateformes pour que les autres jeunes de l'arrière-pays puissent profiter de tout ce qu'on se serait dit ici, y compris les autres jeunes de la diaspora. Voilà l'engagement sur lequel je voudrais, avec votre permission, me retirer pour aller clôturer une autre visioconférence et aller préparer l'écoute du discours du chef de l'État qui, comme vous le savez, sera aussi en un autre hangout à partir du village jeunesse. Donc vous pourrez, tous, je vous invite à vous connecter sur le www.villagejeunesse.cm pour suivre, n'est-ce pas, le débriefing de cette écoute du discours du chef de l'État qui sera en direct en même temps sur CRTV News, CRTV Web et CRTV normal. Donc, merci pour tous les participants, merci à leurs excellents les ambassadeurs, merci à tous les jeunes Camerounais qui ont pris cette visioconférence. And Mr. Medero, thank you again, and happy or good continuation.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We thank you for giving the youth in the US and in the world the opportunity to do this event. We thank all the main keynote speakers. We will plead with the remaining keynote speakers to take just a few questions before we close the thing completely, because there are still a few questions here, especially for the Ambassador of Cameroon to the US and for Professor Tori Miro. So Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, would like you to respond to Modest concern that they've been struggling, their media platform, they've been struggling to come in contact with you. If you can respond to that. We don't know whether the Inspector General left or is still there. There were many questions for the representative of the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. If you are there, one or two. And then Gwendoline will close with her comments. We interrupted her because the High Commissioner to Canada had to speak. So, Mr. Ambassador, not to take much time, if you can respond to Mr. Modest's concern, how can they meet you, their media platform in the US?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I will be very short. I think it's an easy question to answer. First, I would like to remind everybody that you have noticed that this building, the embassy, is sorry, it is in the course of renovation. We are wrapping up the works, and hopefully we will be able to return back to a normal situation maybe in 1, maximum 2 months. And why am I making this statement? This is to say that those who knows the conditions under which I'm working here, they can understand why I have been, my reluctance in accepting to receive people here, because I don't have a decent place for that. But still, I have always tried to give priorities to those amongst our customers. I'm sorry, I need a little bit more.
That's okay, Excellency.
Water. I was saying that I always give priority to customers generally speaking, and especially to those of our people with a clear issue to discuss with me. And it is very easy for you to, I'm reachable. I'm reachable. What you just need is to send an email to the embassy's website. Once the email is here, the secretary will bring it to me. And generally speaking, I would not hesitate to instruct her to find a time frame, an appropriate time frame, making a meeting between us possible. So it is a very and it's a very easy issue to solve. Go to the site, to our website, send an email, and you're expressing your desire to meet the ambassador. We will find a moment to welcome you here, despite the fact that we still haven't completed the works. This is what I can say to answer your question, Mr. Modeste. Feel free to contact the secretary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. There is Daphne, because he is calling from Cameroon. We give him the opportunity before Gwendoline. Are you on the line, Mr. Daphne? Mr. Njafnyor, are you on the line? If not, Gwendoline. Gwendoline, are you on the line?
And then, Pro, before she comes in, there is the technical service of the Ministry of Employment, no, sorry, small and medium-sized enterprises to answer to the questions for their ministry.
Okay, so the first major question was, when the representative of the minister spoke, she said there were many possibilities, and there is Beverly Asa, I think, who was asking, how can they get access to those programs? So that's the first question you should answer. How can they get access to the incubation programs? That's from Beverly Asa. While he is answering that, there is also a question for that ministry from Atem Asongalem. So can you start answering that while I check on the other one? How can they get access to the incubation programs?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I can get you.
Good evening to everybody. All protocol duly respected. Accessing incubation structures are free of charge. What you just need is to have a project that has a high growth potential, project that is innovative. It's free of charge. You don't pay any fees for that. Cameroon now has a lot of incubation structures, both private and public. Some of the public incubation structures, you have Polytechnique Sub-Valeur in Yaoundé 1. You have ESTIC, that's in the domain of communication. You have, there's one in University of Bamenda, College of Technology. You have two in University of Boya. You have at the Faculty of Engineering and the Faculty of Health Sciences. The North two we have at the University of Ngaoundéré as well as the University of Maroua. What you just, most often when they want to take in their incubatees, what they do is they always put the offer, it's always public. They make it public, they paste it on Cameroon Tribune. So if you have your project ready, you just apply and if they select you, good and fine, but there's no fees attached, it's free of charge. The pilot nursery, which is located at Edea, will be taking the second batch very soon. So I call on all the youths present on this platform right now to those that have projects, don't hesitate to come along, send in your proposals. If you are selected and that's it, you'll be trained for like 6 months to 2 years. And at the end of it, they give you a kind of what they call in French, seed fund to start up your venture. So that's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. There is Atem Asongalen, who also has, he had a question for the ministry. Are you still there, Atem?
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Atem Asongalen Robert, speaking to you from Boya, from the youth center in Boya. I have a question for the Ministry of Small Medium-Sized Enterprise. Madam, when you were talking, you did mention that the young people are being encouraged to start up small and medium-sized enterprises within the national territory, which is really a good thing for them to do. Today, to be precise, when I was talking to Mr. Fabian before this conference began, I was actually at the one-stop center in Boya where they register small and medium-sized businesses in Southwest. And there at the center, the registration for small, medium-sized enterprises is actually at 40-something thousand francs, and they demand a series of documents, one of which is a notarized agreement by the lawyer, especially when you want to do with a public limited company. And to have a notarized agreement, partnership agreement, they normally charge these young persons 100,000 francs to get one done, which is very much expensive in Cameroon as of now. So I don't know if the ministry can make it possible that the young people can get their businesses registered at a very little or no cost so that they can promote them to start these businesses. Because with those charges attached to the registration of small businesses, it is difficult for young people to also start up businesses because what they have might be just their capital. And if they use it to register the business, what would they use to run the business? Secondly, also in terms of having a business space, some young people might have the desire to purchase a piece of land or a property to run their business upon. But if you look at the land law in Cameroon, it states that if a young person is not above 45 years old, he or she cannot have a land certificate, which for me, it really shows that young people are not encouraged to own property in Cameroon. With that law put in place, it also shows that you must get out of the youthful age, going above 45, before you can be granted a land title, which hinders the growth of young people here in Cameroon. So I really I wish to know if the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises are working on reducing the price of registering their businesses and also making it possible that young people might do businesses, make interest, make profit, and own property. So this is my question that goes to the Ministry of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprise. Thank you.
Madam, you have the floor.
All right, thank you, sir. Talking about the status that he said is 100,000 francs, that's when you want to go to a lawyer. But at the level of those registration centers, there's a proposition of a status that you don't pay anything for it. So the price will still remain fixed at 41,500 and not more. They have a sample of a status if you want to use it. But if you want to use the services of a lawyer, it's not the ministry's place to block you or whatever. If you can pay for it, why not? But there's a status at the level of the CFC. So you guys, young people, I encourage people, if you want to make a business and you need a status, ask them at the center. They have one day and it's free of charge.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Azumbi. There are a number of comments here that they just seem to be compliments of your work you did in Canada, and they are wishing you well as you are going to South Africa. Maybe for these people, I guess there are people in your jurisdiction, you may want to say one or two last things on this platform before we close up. We hand the microphone to Gwendoline. Ambassador, are you still there? And we are happy that people from Canada got involved. Ambassador still with us?
There's a teacher says, if you want it, they'll give you, and it's free of charge.
Madam Mona Emanuela, can you mute your microphone?
I just did.
Okay. Is the ambassador still there?
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
You muted again. Sir, Excellency, you have to unmute yourself again. Good.
It's good now?
Yes.
Okay. Is that fine?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. No, just to thank you. It's been a great honor and privilege serving Cameroon in Canada and working with our compatriots, for the most part, very young, dynamic people here in Canada. I want to thank them, seize the opportunity to thank them. I've sent out a letter of farewell, greetings to them, thanking them for their contributions in moving forward Cameroon-Canada relations. So if they haven't seen it, definitely they'll be seeing it. And but I take this opportunity to renew my thanks and very best wishes to them as they continue. I urge them to continue to stay united and to be as patriotic as ever, and to lend to whoever comes in to replace me the same wonderful collaboration that I enjoyed from them all. I've had I live with some very good memories of the times past spent with them, with Cameroonians here. And I know they know that they have all my very best wishes. And I thank you all. And again, I thank the organizers of this wonderful conference, Mr. Leong, Mr. Fabian, all of you, and the moderator, my colleagues. I thank you all. It's been a very humbling experience following up the discussions and seeing the enthusiasm in our youth, and to work for the progress of our country. I'm happy to note that they are really committed and networking towards that end. So all the very best to the youth of our country on this day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. We wish you well in your new office in Pretoria. We want to thank, Gwendolyn will still have the last word. We want to thank the Ambassador of Cameroon to the US, who gave the opportunity for the President of Cameroon Youth Council to organize this event. The technical platform was made possible by Ambassador Etundi Esomba, and it happens that it's the second time this is happening for young people in Cameroon, and it has happened in Washington. Your Excellency, I want to really thank you and your staff for always being ready to help young people in the US. And Mr. Fabien, you know, if you come close to the ambassador, your work will be well known, because the embassy has a possibility of getting in contact with a lot of Cameroonians. So even the Youth Connect the minister is talking about, this is the embassy in Washington is the best place for that to be made known. We wish everybody safe celebrations in these difficult times of COVID-19. I would give, and then before I end, I want to really thank, there were CRO TV journalists inside here, and to let everybody know that this passed on CRO TV at 1 p.m., and I guess it's going to pass again after the president's speech. So I want to thank all of them. I want to thank Canal 2, who has been here. They were also doing this live. There is also Media to Africa, which has been doing this live. There is also Gwendy Media. So there have been thousands of people watching us live. I want to thank everybody. That said, Madame Gwendolyn Fongu, you have the closing words.
Thank you so much. I want to say kudos to everybody. Thank you, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors, all distinguished guests who have been amazing on this platform. I didn't feel like we were talking to the ambassadors, like, you know, it was so much more like a discussion, and I'm so happy that we're able to bring out all these points. I want to thank the Cameroonian Youth Conference. I want to thank the United Council for Empowerment for this opportunity. I'm not sure where that's coming from. And I want to thank the Cameroon Embassy in the United States for making all this possible. I'm just going to conclude here by saying that the points have been made, the questions have been asked, answers have been brought to the table. Let's look for the way forward. I know that now is time for action. I want to thank all the youths who were able to make their points heard. Those were very, very pertinent questions. I learned so much from working at the CRTV. And today, being based in the United States, I find myself being that bridge, listening to Cameroonians in the diaspora and also connecting the bridge with those back in Africa. I want to just say that let's look for a way forward and let's do this again. Thank you all so much for being part of this amazing initiative. Thank all the media partners. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayuk. And let's hope for more initiatives like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think there is, except our host ambassador,
Yes,
to say.
Okay, thank you so much, Gwen. Thank you, Prof. And thanks to everyone. We just want to say that to our young people, we promise giving you guys certificates for participating. Please do everything possible to send us your name if you haven't done so in our email, which is ucyevolunteer@gmail.com. And we're going to prepare your certificate and send to you. We thank you so much, and please keep connecting with each other so that we can together build our nation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kukwe. And for the journalists who ask about contacting the ambassador in Washington, the email address is mail@CameroonEmbassyUSA.org. So you can write to the ambassador directly to request an audience. Once more, we thank our excellencies, the ambassador of Cameroon to Washington, D.C., His Excellency Henri Etundi Esomba, the High Commissioner to Canada, His Excellency Solomon Zombi, who is going to South Africa to serve the country over there. We hope that we'll have another opportunity to meet the youth and especially probably to meet the women as 8th March is coming. Who knows? So once more, thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Happy Youth Day.
You can unmute yourself and say hi. And as the conference is officially over, you can unmute yourself and say hi.
And congratulations to all of us again for winning the 2020.
Thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you all.
We are very grateful for this opportunity. We are very grateful. Thank you very much.
It was really a great product.
Thank you to UCYE and God bless Cameroon. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Fabian, for the wonderful initiative. It was awesome. I have about how many young people in my office watching this program. I'm very happy for that. Thank you so much.
And let's all connect, okay? Let's all connect.
Thank you very much for taking the opportunity. Thank all the ministers from
all of our leaders who are supporting us. I can see
Yeah, we are here.
And Mr. Cyril Ponjon, on you all in the US diaspora.
Just one more thing I just didn't want the excellencies but there are a number of things that maybe questions that I got in my inbox from people. They talked about youth in the diaspora increasing more collaborative initiatives. They talk about access to funding for startups and small businesses. available market for entertainment and culture. They're complaining. I did have a live broadcast in Fonjo. I think you watched that broadcast. It's over 12,000 views now on YouTube. Cameroonian entertainers they are crying foul. They are complaining that foreign entertainment is taking over their platform, and that's not helping their talent to be expressed the best way possible. They are not able to make the money or just that recognition. They're not able to have that, and that's something that we need to talk about. I do have that broadcast. The title was Reducing the Impact of Foreign Entertainment in order to enhance the entertainment and tourism sector. So please, I would like to connect with a lot of people. That's my little daughter. She just walked into the She knows that mommy is working right now. So she's like, hi. I don't know who let her out. So, the direct possibility of connecting with the officials, people have complained so much about that. A lot of them have said that they don't have the possibility of expressing themselves. Maybe because, I don't know, but those are the questions that I got in my inbox concerning the conference. People who could not attend. They talked about high taxes imposed on them for growing companies. They talked about high custom taxes, which prevents them from shipping investments to Cameroon, an extremely low custom process. So I just wanted to bring all these points because I know that this video is going to be compiled and these issues will definitely be raised. So I just wanted to use this opportunity to invite all of you. I do have a platform, Wendy Media. I don't know, maybe some of you don't know. I used to work with CRTV, but now I'm based here in the US and I have a platform, Wendy Media. And I have a program called Spotlight, which is very popular. Spotlight with Wendy, where I bring people, personalities, and professionals whose stories and experiences can inspire, empower, elevate, and motivate. So please feel free to contact me. We're all doing this for our country. We're trying to look for ways forward, how we can make things better, how we can make our voices heard, how we can take action. Thank you so much and congratulations once again.
When the best of you is expressed, demand le chacal, available near you, Canada, 001-301-942-808-7802, Cameroon, 237-696-349-758. USA 01-301-992-9492, Paris, France 337-5851-4333. Discover all our articles on chacalfashion.com. Le Chacal by Rodrigo Waco.
In communities, please, there is one thing which